slide that in there.
Tesla 168.50 out. What is up, beautiful people? Welcome to How to Trade, formerly known as the Midday Show. That is your girl Adara, and I'm Sharif. And we're gonna wait for all the viewers to come on over from the other stream. We have our last IPO SPAC direct listing lesson of the week. We're gonna be talking about how to basically trade the hype. We're going to talk about how to short the hype specifically, so make sure to catch that with it. There we go. Now we got Pitch Bull in the house. We got Bob Dub and Mateus Lane. Shout out to the OG Darwin and Caleb English, as well as Easy Trader, 1320 Wolf, Hamster One, Luke Parent, Joel Fernandez. And why not? Yes, I see those hands. I see those laughing emojis. JF Trader, Stupid Bitcoin, Solo, Cristo. We got Jonathan Mansilla, Jesus Garcia. We got Hurt Scrambler, Delov, Malcolm Aldridge, Luke Perrin as well. I think I already said that one. Arian, we got Martin, we got Jason Walcott, and we got the bunch. Welcome to everybody. Thank you for joining Adara and I. Good morning, Adara.
Good morning. How are you?
Not too bad. Tried to trade Apple today unsuccessfully to the high side. I'll get to that failed trade in a minute. I also had a bit of a tougher trade on CleanSpark. Tried to play the range between 17 and 18. That didn't work out that well. We'll get to those trades in a minute. But anything that you're looking at before we start?
I'm actually in two trades.
Okay.
So first is the TQs. Not proud of myself. I should have waited for 58.90s. That was the level I really wanted. And I actually had it on drawn on here, etched in stone. And the reason I had it drawn is if you go to yesterday's, look at that 58.90 top we had. I really like that level, which is why I wanted to take something off of that, which is why I got short. I should have waited. I didn't think we'd get there, which is why I got involved 58.84s. But you know what? C'est la vie. I'm actually going to risk a little bit more for this. As long as we stay below 59.10, I'm going to be okay. Is that a bit of an ambitious move for me? Oh, definitely. But I really want it, and I think sometimes you have to be a little bit more ambitious. I'm also I'm looking at and charting the Meg 7 names, because Sharif and I were having this conversation yesterday and also today. If that was something that was working for me and I see stuff I like, I shouldn't feel like I can't trade it. So I'm going to be giving myself that option. And also I'm long Starbucks. I like this VWAP hold, and I really like these wicks to the downside. I think we have some opportunity to go higher. I'm only risking 10 cents.
It's doing the wick shimmy at
It
VWAP.
is.
All right, okay. What's the issue now, Ram? Oh, why? Okay, sorry. You know, when Ram comes over, we talk about the hand, Fabian. So, no kidding. Guys, these are the small cap gappers that I'm looking at today. There's a lot running. We also have a new IPO, another Chinese ADR EV to add to the list. It's not just going to be Li Auto, XPEV, and NIO anymore. There's going to be Zeekr, and it's going to trade on the North American exchanges, not on the OTC like BYD. So another Chinese EV to add. It's going to go by the ticker ZK. Pardon me? No, I didn't build a car. But ZK is going to be the ticker for that. No print yet. We're waiting for the first print to come in on this IPO. As soon as that happens, and assuming we have eyes on it, obviously we'll bring it to you. If you guys see it before us, make sure to tag Adara and I in the chat so we can bring it to everybody's attention. All right, so here's what I'm looking for. LIDR, LIDAR. Who knows about this one? This one has shown up many a time in the past before as a small cap gapper. $15.5 million float and a 5.4 million share float. Sorry, $15 million market cap, 5.4 million share float. Great look on the day, moving up well above the 10 period, well above VWAP. I mean, this one we're going to have to wait for a bit of a retracement here because it's a bit extended off the moving averages at the moment. Up a cool 98, 99%. It's the #1 gap scanner on my list today. NVAX, we'll get to that one in a minute because it's kind of doing the sideways dance here at the volume weighted average price, hugging 10. If that one breaks out, we'll have eyes on it. But for now, it's a little bit of a really tight range. CDNA. What is this one all about? This one goes by the name of Cardex. Caridex? $733 million market cap. The float on this monster is about 50 million shares. It's at a very critical level right now. You guys know how I love trading these ones long above the volume weighted average price, and alas, it is at the VWAP right now. $14.14 is where VWAP is. Last time we were around here, we did break it with the wicks, but we were able to reclaim it quite quickly. Let's see if VWAP features today as a level of support on CDNA. Good look here, up 28%, but that's not it. There's more. OUST, oust. We're gonna oust this one, I guess long. Kind of killed that one. 622 million shares. $622 million market cap. The float on this, 38.6 million shares. This one looks a little bit better here than OUST, but the range, or than CDNA. But the range per candle is a little wide, especially for a $13 name. We almost have $1 there on a range per candle basis on average. So this one's trading at above VWAP. VWAP is at $13.40. The high of the day is $14.17, but I would propose to you that $14 does seem to be a bit of a top, so about a 50 penny, 60 penny range as we speak right now on OUST. Small cap gapper up nicely on the day. Last but not least, SOUN trading below VWAP now, and it's actually using VWAP, looks like here, as a level of resistance rather than support. We'll keep eyes on this one. This one had earnings yesterday, and obviously that affiliation with NVDA helped propel it to new highs back in March there.
Yeah, I actually got involved in... I'm in 3 trades right now. I am exhilarated. I am... we're going to have to see what happens here. I got involved around 41s because I liked... Look at this base we had earlier, right? I'm like, if we come here and we reject, I like that. I got involved. We're planning for 40.77s. Now, I could save a piece for the dream, but that's not really going to be the goal here. I want to be scalpy. I want to go back to you know, back to my roots in trading. And you know what? Like, I think that's going to be pretty important. I think, again, I really appreciate Sharif for having that convo with me. Just like, whatever worked for you in the sim, try to go back to that, you know, within reason. So I want to try that. Right now, all 3 of these trades are going okay-ish, so we're gonna have to see if they go more okay-ish. Also, thank you so much to Kyle Burdett, $4.99 super chat. Sharif, Adara, and gang. Hope all is well. Damn it. So thank you so much to Kyle Burdett for the super chat.
I was talking to Big Kyle today just before, because we have an ad read, that's why we haven't started the lesson.
Oh, yeah.
But I was talking to Big Kyle on the gram, and my man is absolutely living it up on the shores of North Carolina. He's fishing, he's boating, he's beaching, he's doing everything. He's living his best life. Shout out to Big Kyle. Enjoy your time, my man. And when you're good and ready for next week to take this market south, we'll gladly have you back in the chat. Shout out to Big Kyle.
Shout out.
Yeah, so we got a couple of minutes left here before we start the lesson. Adara, is there any other names that you're looking at that you saw there at the big desk that we could pass on?
Yeah, so I do have, I mean, you know, I have my hands full with my 3 children right now. But yeah, in terms of other things, I'm not looking at anything for myself right now, but I think some things to work at. You know, I know Roblox, I was looking at that a little bit earlier. I was talking to Sharif about this. Roblox did have that upgrade as well.
You're in trades. Let's
yeah,
manage your trades,
that.
and I'll look at some stuff until we get to 09s. So this has been, look, I showed this to Patty Ice when the show started. I was looking at possible support for the dead one at on the 50 period on the 1 hour. I'm talking about Apple. There was a good amount of evidence here on the previous days that the 50 period was acting as a level of support on AAPL. I had a dip trade set up at 183.25 because that's where the 50 period was featuring at that time. Now it's a little bit lower. It didn't even bother holding up there. It maybe held up for a little bit, but then the bottom came right out there, and so we closed below the 50 period, so I won't be using that as a level of support until it proves itself again. So we'll talk about all the different trades that we can have on these here Mag 7, but before we do that, we have to tell you about BlueChew, Fabian. BlueChew, guys, brought to you by them. Guys, remember the good old days when you were always ready to go? Well, those days don't have to be over. BlueChew is an online service that delivers the same active ingredients as Viagra, Cialis, and Levitra, but in a convenient chewable tablets and at a fraction of the cost. Sign up at bluechew.com, consult with one of their licensed medical providers, and you'll receive your prescription discreetly delivered to your door within days. No awkward doctor visits, no waiting in line at the pharmacy. BlueChew tablets are made in the USA and shipped directly to you. And we've got a special deal for you. Try BlueChew for free when you use the promo code, you guessed it, TraderTV TV at checkout. Just pay $5 for shipping. Visit bluechew.com and use the promo code TraderTV for that special deal, baby. So yeah, get that, check that out there. Rahim, $2 soup chat. Can you guys have a look at PanDub? They're having earnings on May 20th. Yes, sir, they are, and I'm invested in that name and have been for some time. I'm not heavily in the money on this, about $5 or so in the money on this monster. So make or break time come earnings for me on this name. We'll have to see how this one goes. Let's pull out PanDub super quick here before we start the lesson du jour for Rami. Give me a second here. So I can tell you already, having looked at this chart multiple times on the daily, I know exactly where the support and resistance levels are. So as you can see here, this area was the deciding area. This $200.65 level, $265 level, this takes us all the way back into the peaks of October. And lo and behold, when we sold off aggressively on earnings back in February, I believe it was, we absolutely tanked right into that level. And guess what? Recovered and then came back down. Guess where? Into 265 again. So 265 is an absolute area of support, previously resistance on PanW that it hasn't really been able to break through. Now, I did draw fibs on this, okay, on my other platform. Reason being, I love you guys. You guys are trolls extraordinaire. They're like, that's a lie. He's fibbing. All right, no, but for real, the reason I drew the fibs from the peak, because this was all-time highs, down into the bottom of the retracement off earnings, because I wanted to see exactly where we would retrace to. And so far, the best we've been able to do is retrace a third of the way back. We haven't been able to make it back into 320. 320 would be the 50% retracements off the high that we made February 9th and the low that we printed on February 21st. So 320, a key area of possible resistance here if we make it into 320 before earnings. I think it's a decent look. I know it sold off when, what was that company called where that woman put the video of her getting fired?
Oh, Cloudflare.
Cloudflare reported not that long ago.
You know, I know.
Yeah.
Cloudflare.
Remember how Cloudflare reported, and they reported poorly with respect to earnings, and that sent PanW, I think, down $6 or something like that in the aftermarket. So it's a hit and miss here. Zscaler did okay. Cloudflare, a bit of a, we're not really sure. So PanW, we're gonna have to find out how they do. But if the news is any indication here, all I hear is cyber attack over cyber attack over cyber attack. So, I mean, there's no shortage of business for these guys. So we'll have to see how they're able to do. So let's now start the lesson du jour. All right, guys, we are talking about shorting the hype within the context, obviously, of IPOs, SPACs, and direct listings. So ever feel an IPO or SPAC or a DL listing is widely overvalued due to hype? Short selling allows you to potentially profit if the price falls. This lesson equips you for an intraday short on hyped up new listings, but remember, this is a bit of a tougher strategy and there are definitely more inherent risks with shorting IPOs than there are with other types of trades. So why would you want to short during the hype? First of all, to capitalize potentially on overvaluation. New listings with excessive hype might be priced well above their intrinsic value. You can say intrinsic value is based on, PE or any number of metrics. So you profit if the price corrects closer to its intrinsic value. But there's also to catch the euphoric downturn, right? So the initial euphoria can create a bit of a bubble, right, on these IPOs, and we've seen that many times. You short sell anticipating the price to decline as the hype subsides. Who remembers VinFast, VFS, right? That's all I got to say about that. Just go have a look at that chart. So how do you identify the hype monster, right? Let's get to exactly what we should be doing here. So you have your valuation metrics that you can use. You can compare the company's valuation ratios like PE to industry benchmarks. A significant disconnect suggests to you potential overvaluation. So the first thing you should do is this company from a fundamentals perspective overvalued? If you have that check mark, then you can go on to step two. You can look at the social media buzz as well. Is there a frenzy of excitement online? What are some of these social scores? Like I know my platform here gives me a social media score. Yeah, it goes and basically peruses the internet, Twitter, X, or whatever it's called. Yeah, and it reads what everybody's saying, and then it assigns a negative or positive score to it. So what is the social media buzz? And also look at the technical analysis, right? Look for topping patterns like head and shoulders, double tops that could be appearing on the chart, right? That might indicate a potential trend reversal. So you're looking for, number one, is it overvalued from a fundamentals perspective? What are people saying online? Is it positive or is it negative? And what are the technicals saying? So those are the first 3 steps you're going to take there. And here is a good look there. This is a big move up. And then you can kind of see a skewed double top, and then we sell all the way back down. So good look there. So how do we short these hypes? So there are certain mechanics involved that we have to talk about. In order to short, you need to borrow somebody else's fully paid shares. So Federa has 100 shares of Apple, and I want to short Apple. You know, I'm not going to borrow them directly from Adara. The broker actually does all that. But I borrow Adara's fully paid shares, and then basically I sell them only to buy them back later for cheaper. That's basically the mechanics of the short sale. So your broker lends you the shares to short, and they take them from one of their clients, and you'll need to locate these borrowable shares and understand the interest rates that sometimes are charged by brokers for borrowing. So you have to keep that in mind. And then you're going to look for your entry point. You're going to look for a technical indicator suggesting a potential peak. Like we talked about this, like a head and shoulders pattern, a double top, a triple top. There could be a bearish reversal pattern on the chart or a negative divergence between price and an indicator like the RSI. So we talked about this before. The prices continue to make higher highs on the price action chart, but you look at the RSI chart on the bottom and it's making lower high. That's a bearish price action divergence between price and RSI. So you can look for things like that. Or you could look for a breakdown below a key area of support. But if it's a newer IPO, you're not really going to have established support and resistance levels. Then you got to get your stop loss order fixed up. So since the price can surge in an upward trend, set a stop loss order a little bit above that key area of resistance to limit potential losses if the price rallies against you. So that's going to require you to do some charting, obviously figuring out where support and resistance is so you can place your stop above that resistance level. And your exit strategy, you need to have a sound exit strategy here. Kind of hard to do with IPOs because there's just so much limited data. So what you could consider doing in these scenarios is using percentage gains for your profit taker and percentage losses for your stop loss. So for example, you could have a 5 to 10% profit target for your long and then cut that down to half, maybe 2.5 to 5% for your stop, so you can maintain that 1-to-2 risk to reward ratio, or 2-to-1, excuse me. Okay? So those are your strategies. You're going to locate shares that are borrowable, so you can short them. Borrowable, yeah. I don't even know if that's a word, bro. Looking horrible. And then you're going to...
Horrible.
Huh?
They're abhorrible. You abhor them.
Horrible, I love it. Entry point. Then you're going to look for your entry point, right? So you're going to look for your area on the technicals. You're going to look for a key area showing possible a top, like a double top, head and shoulders, triple top, or you're going to look for price RSI divergence. Then you're going to figure out where your stop goes. You're going to have to chart a key area of resistance on the chart to say if it breaks above here, the trade is no longer valid. Once you've done that, you need to figure out your exit strategy. So that requires 2 different exits. One is a potential stop loss and one is your profit taker. I would suggest to you looking for percentage gains on IPOs rather than key areas of possible support and resistance because you don't really know. There's just not enough data to be able to chart some of these. So that's what I would suggest. And some important considerations that you should take into account: the real and ever-present threat of a short squeeze. Right? If the stock price unexpectedly surges due to buying pressure, you might face a short squeeze, forcing you to buy back shares, which is how you get out of a short, at a higher price to close your position, leading to significant losses. So it behooves us just to explain quickly here what a short squeeze is. Essentially, what ends up happening is when shorts, say I'm short Apple at 180, okay? And then it breaks above 180. in order for me to cover my short to get out, like my stop loss, I have to buy the shares back. So what ends up happening is when it breaks above a key level where there's a lot of shorts and there's also people looking long, you have double the buying because the shorts who are stopping out are forced to buy back the shares, and then people who see the price going up also start buying the shares, so you get squeezed. And that's what happened on GameStop and AMC. If you don't know the mechanics of that, just go and have a research. Go and research that. But yeah, it is an ever-present threat. You also need to know what your margin requirements are with your broker. They're not just going to let you short a stock willy-nilly. You probably have to have a certain amount of money in there to cover your rear end. And if the position goes against you, you may get that margin call telling you to deposit more money or they're going to close your position. So short selling often requires margin, meaning you need to put up a portion of the capital up front. Make sure you understand your broker's margin requirements. They're all a little bit different, and you could find yourself getting that margin call a little earlier than you anticipated. And theoretically, guys, when you short a stock, you are on the hook theoretically for unlimited potential losses because a stock can theoretically go to an infinite price. Obviously, that doesn't happen. And obviously, you're not going to wait to the top to get out. You're going to get out before that. But realistically, when you go long a stock, basically your risk is what you've invested in that stock. So it goes to zero, you're out that capital. On the other side of the coin, when you're shorting something, it can theoretically go to $1 million a share, and you could be out big money. That doesn't happen, but we're telling you the theory here. And the spread as well. I have to tell you about the spread. The spread on new listings, thank you, Adair, for adding this in, very good point, can be larger in the first days and weeks in the early trading. Keep that in mind when entering your orders and stop losses to ensure you're able to enter and exit the stock safely and at the price level of your choosing. And in this case, you can choose to use market orders or you can use a stop limit order with a wider spread. Go and have a look at what that is if you don't know what about. And some bonus tips here, guys. Start small when you're going to trade these IPOs, especially short. Begin with small short positions to manage risk and gain experience before increasing your position size. And you could also consider hedging your bets. If you like a short, for example, like what Alfred did, he didn't short VinFast from the traditional way through equities. He got option puts, and he printed big on those option puts. So you don't have to take it through the equity route. You could consider using your options here to take it short, and that limits your potential loss because the contract will expire worthless, and that will be the amount of risk that you put in. But you could also use options in a different way. So if you're going to short Apple using equities and regular shares, you could also buy calls on Apple to hedge your bets. So you could offset it that way. So options features here quite well. So make sure you understand a lot about that. Stay informed as well. The hype can shift quickly. Stay up to date on the news and market sentiment to adjust your exit strategy if needed.
I like that. But yeah, no, thank you so much for going over that lesson, Sharif. I think it's really key, especially because we have Zeekr. So yeah, Zeek and you may find, Zeek and you shall find. So
I'm good with that.
See how Zeekr ends up going. Also, yeah, so I had 3 trades at one time. Only one of them was successful, but I was really proud of how I managed the other ones. And you know, we're going to talk about them. TQQs. I got short. I should have waited for 58.90s. That was my first mistake. We didn't, I wanted to see what we did at 60s. We only got to mid 70s. I added because we were continually rejecting at that 58.90-ish area, which is what I liked. We broke up at 59s. I got out. Potato, potato, tomato, tomato. I'm okay with going long if we keep bouncing off this 95 area, but I should probably wait and see a little bit more. Then SOXL, I was really proud of what I did here. We did profit on SOXL. We took a SOXW. Only SOXW of the day, but I'm going to say so far because we want to be optimistic and ready for things to keep happening. Really proud of what I did here. Got involved at 41s, got out exactly at an earlier base of like 76. Took like 20, 25 pennies on this, pleased as punch. And that was the lowest we've gotten since. So that's the type of trade I want to have more of, just being scalpy, trusting my instincts. I also got out of Starbucks, didn't get as caffeinated as I wanted to. In fact, didn't get caffeinated at all, I took a loss. But I'm happy again with how I managed it. I wanted to see what we did at 90s. We break below 90s, I say bye-bye. But yes, that's what happened there. CELH is what I'm currently involved in. I want to see this guy turned up a couple degrees. I like this because this is an area I was looking at yesterday because that 84.40 was pretty spicy. We had to bounce off 84.40. I'm aware we could continue to go higher, but if we were, as long as we rejected the 86 area, which happens to be VWAP, I'm okay risking a couple pennies. I want to take minimum 20 pennies. I like this kind of chop and churn area earlier here. Taking smaller positions, trying to continue to be confident. Yesterday was my worst day of trading since going live, but just want to keep making things better and improving. How is your bite of the apple?
Like just got in. So what I'm looking for is either a 50-period rejection on the 1 or a 10-period rejection here. And we're getting topping tail candles, 10-period rejection on the 5. Sorry, I didn't complete my sentence there. So that's what I'm looking for. We'll see exactly what we get. I think 183 is going to be my line in the sand. I'll get it out if it breaks that. But we put topping tail candles that didn't look all that convincing on the 5-minute, even though there were 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 green straight candles on Apple. They looked unconvincing, so I'm going short. Call me crazy, but that's what I'm doing. So we'll hear you, Fabian. Called me crazy. So that's what I'm doing there. We'll see exactly what we get. Let's load up some of these. Yeah, I could also be persuaded to definitely get in on OUST at around 1340, mid 40-ish. Nice hold initially there at VWAP. We'll see if we get another VWAP dip and pop. But it's giving you about 50, 60 pennies worth of range between the top at 14, which looks like a clearly established level there. And I don't know if this is a clearly established bottom because we only had a couple of touches. You good, Katina, man? What happened? The market's popping?
I'm short the Qs.
The Katina man's short the Qs at the moment. So yeah, if you're following along with the Katina man, he's short the Qs.
Look, it's in like a 5-handle range.
The Qs and yeah, it is actually. So let me show the Qs because I don't actually have the Qs up. I have the NQ up. Yeah, the NQ is a little bit. He's like it's in a 5-point range at the moment. So here's the NQ. Here we've been dancing with the with this level below 18,250. We've been kind of in a range between 18,213 a little bit and then 18,233 or basically to the 50 period here. It looks like on the 5 on the NQ. So we'll keep eyes on that, Adair.
Yeah. I have been wrestling with the idea to maybe trade Tesla today.
Okay.
If I see something I like, I will be doing it with.
Fabian's such a troll today. He's trolling everybody.
The Friday troll. But no, I want to, shout out to Fabian and Refrain. Those are always killing it, always making us laugh. This Tesla, though, this 169 area, if I take this, it's going to be a scalp. I'm going to be the king of, not the king, that's a little ambitious. I will be a member of Scalp City. Population, well, Sean also scalps all, Anyways, not the point. If we keep failing this 169, which was also that previous.
Katina man is out of his Tesla. He wants to let you know that.
Yeah, Sean.
168.50.
168.50 out of his Tesla. Yeah, if I took this, it'd be a scalp. I just think because we keep building, but we're also above the 90 MA. That doji I don't love. That's why I said I'm contemplating. I have definitely not getting involved yet because like I said too, I always want to make sure I'm feeling confident before I enter my trades, especially if I'm going to trade Tesla for the first time since going live. I know we've said she's a little bit less stressful than she used to be, but we do still call her stressful for a reason, and I think we should honor that. CELH, kind of waffly here. I have no reason to leave. We're within like 10 pennies of where I entered, so going to continue to chop and turn there. Casro OW, thank you so much for the $5 super chat. Up $17,000 on Tesla puts today.
What?
12K cash taken off the table. LFG Tesla, biggest dumpster fire on Wall Street. Yeah, I mean, congrats to you on that. 12K in the money. That's fantastic, sir. Shout out to you. Thank you so much for your your support there. Yeah, this Tesla continuing to struggle with getting off the schneid, to shout out Neil and sometimes Sharif at this 169.10 level. Let's see what you do, TSLA. You're going to be Stressla, Besla, Tesla, going to keep wrestling with this level. We'll find out. But either way, shout out to Casrow. Also, really quickly too, Paula Blackford wants some feedback on Meta. So let's look at Meta. Okay. For me, I have to say, I think we're topping and turning a little bit to the upside here. We had a nice little double bottom on the this 1055, 1045 here. We kind of bounced off that 469 area. Right now, Paul Blackford, since then, I'm kind of seeing higher highs, higher lows. That being said, we are struggling a lot on a wick basis, like a lot of these names here, very wicky, around that 471, 472. So if we want to stop being Wikipedia, I think we need to continue to break above here. I like this kind of pause we had at 472.80. That'd be a nice break above. We'd also be kind of getting near VWAP. Right now, though, I have to say this name a little bit harder to read. There's not a lot of levels to go off of beyond that kind of move to the upside. That's a nice vehicle.
All right, here it is, guys. This is Zeekr. The Zeekr 001 and the Zeekr X, Katina, man. These are the new lines coming out of China, okay? And so we're gonna have to add this to Li Auto. It kind of looks like the, not the Cayenne, what's it called? The Taycan. Taycan, yeah, a little bit from the front there. It looks good. 620 kilometer range, hello. 3.8 seconds, 0 to 100. 30-minute charge time, lies. That's 0 to 80 probably, right? Anyway, this is it, guys. It's gonna trade under the ticker symbol ZK. We're awaiting the first print. Where can we order it from? Oh, let's go. Let's build this, Fabian. Let's do this, Katina, man. We're gonna build. So we don't live in any of these countries, but that's okay. We're gonna go with English and see what comes. Come what may, baby. All right, so this is in euros, so shout out to all my Europeans. Now, the Katina, man, are we gonna go long range or are we gonna go performance? Performance all-wheel drive it is, Sean. And privilege all-wheel drive, yeah. Performance? All right, let's go performance. Let's go performance, and I gotta go blue. Right?
1,600 euros.
Yes, Katina, man, it's blue, sir. So we're gonna go continue on this monster. Let's see what we get. Standard connectivity included, premium connected services included. This is all good. Now, what do we have to pay for here? Wheel storage? No, I'm not doing that. All right, we're good to go. Service plan? Yeah, that's a ripoff. Okay, so that's not bad. 65,000 euros. Yeah, it's close to 100 Canadian. So yeah, that's, look, I think it meets basically it fits the description with most of these other guys. Like they're all gonna be around the same price. So yeah, nothing really too special. I guess the design looks good, but the price, yeah, that's the price. The price is prohibitive for a lot of people. So what do you think about this design?
I like it. I like that it's your blue. I think it's a little bit, to me, it looks like one of the cars from the Cars movie. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Those which is not my vibe. I like a boxy vehicle.
Fair.
That to me is very round. It looks like it could talk to me at any moment and hang out in, what is that, Radiator Springs? So I'm gonna give it a Cars themed diss. Reference to the Cars movie.
Here's the inside.
It just looks like an inanimate, it looks so much like it could be talking to me at any moment.
Yeah, the inside ain't bad. Look at that Alcantara on the seats there. I'm good with that. Yeah, okay. Well, it's decent. We'll see how it trades, I guess. All right. We're nicely in the money now on Apple, Katina, man. We're gonna wet our beak there on some profits. We're gonna see if Apple can make its way down, rejecting the 10 period yet again.
I scalped Tesla for the first time in live. I'm so proud of myself. Jeez. I only took 13 pennies. How? What are you trading, Sean?
It's for you.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
I don't know why that was.
Yeah, no, that's why I was confused. But yeah, so I didn't want to thank you so much. Props to Sean, props to everybody here as well. I took it short at that 169.13. I was going to risk into 169.30s. I wanted to kind of see what we did at 169. So we get to 169. I said, you know what? Oh my gosh, that's a beautiful car. What is this?
Stop. Stop. That's my fail.
I love that. Oh my gosh. It's a little orange car. But yeah, really proud of this. Took it with a bit more size because I thought you kind of have to take, if you're going to take Tesla, okay, yeah, we're going to go back to this car. That's quite the little, interesting little vehicle there. I am a fan, but I do like a boxier car. But yeah, basically I wanted to get out before we broke that 9 EMA. I didn't know if we would break the 9 EMA, and you guys know how much I look at the 9 EMA as a level. So with that in mind, got involved, basically just kind of waiting to see if we broke above that area I was gonna leave. But yeah, took it with a bit more size because I wanted to do a scalp. I think I did it justice, and I think also I wanted to do myself justice with that, as like kind of lame as that might sound. So I'm really happy with that. And again, I want to shout out Sharif for giving me the confidence to take that trade and to be a little bit more confident in my trading. Also, shout out to Kazrao OW for another $5 super chat. 32, 177.5 puts, I think this is on Tesla, 510 expiry. Brought on Tuesday, calling it a day. Have a good one.
Nice.
You have a good one, Kazrao. Thank you so much for sharing your trade with us and supporting us. And we're always happy to have everybody here. Always so grateful to be part of this community. And thank you, Cybertruck. Also, apparently, wait, am I still in? I'm not still in the Cybertruck, guys. It's saying I am, but I am safely exiting the vehicle.
I love it.
Yeah.
All right, we're looking at the $0.50 now on AAPL. It was knocking the door of 182.50. I'm not going to wet my beak here on any profits. We're just going to let this one go. If it touches low a day, maybe a 182 touch or thereabouts. I'm just going to leave it, let it be, and we'll see what is what. Now, I got to tell you, there doesn't seem to be a whole lot of strength on the Mag 7 today, but one is kind of getting my attention, and I'm not surprised it's this one. It goes by the ticker META, and this one has really made it its kind of modus operandi to recover from dips. I mean, like, look at the last few days. Yesterday, we dipped down, we closed higher. Previous days, you dip down, you close higher. You dip down, you close higher. It seems to be a running theme with Meta. So I'm not just going to jump in willy-nilly, but clearly we bottomed out at 470. I know we got into 469.60, but the better level there is the $10 level, 470. And depending on what time frame you're trading, this could look like a head and shoulders. Let's look at the 1 minute here, see if this head and shoulders-esque. Yeah, kind of. Yeah, a little bit head and shoulders-esque here on META above the 50. Another profit taker you could keep your eye on is that 473 1/3. That's where VWAP is. A bit of a chasm between the 50 period and VWAP at the moment. So I'm not going to be quick to jump into this, especially the market keeps heading down, and we're printing nicely here on Apple as it breaks that $0.50 level of dare. Please, dang punch. We're going to flatten out there for a nice little rounded top. But yeah, I'm seriously considering going long Meta if the winds of change come in here on these future.
Yeah, you're just going to have to wait to see if it sends you a DM, and it's like,
Ooh.
hey, Sharif, want to trade me? Winky face emoji. And then, you know, if that works out, sorry, I went too far with that one.
Yes,
and then, and then, you know, if you're down for the DM, then you guys, you got to make that happen. Just slide into the DM. Okay. But yeah, good Zuckerberg with that. Good Zuck.
Thank you.
Best of Zuck always. But yeah, congrats on that Apple trade there.
Appreciate you.
Tim Cookin.
Tim Cook.
And I think it's a really nice look for AAPL.
Did you hear about the whole Tim Cook saga right now?
Oh,
they don't know who's going to replace him.
Yeah, that's
They're
true.
worried, right? They're looking down the list of execs, and they don't like what they see. I'm talking about bigger shareholders.
Yeah, the Apple people. Yeah, we're gonna have to see, you know, if the apple falls far from the tree. I was seeing some memes.
Stop putting me on when you do that. I know you're setting it up.
No, Fabian and Ramin are both excellent at production and also excellent at trolling. And it makes it a very fun environment. So shout out to them. Trolling takes a special skill. But yeah, no, I think it will be interesting to see what happens with the Apple succession. I know that the Disney succession is another one people are looking at. So we'll have to see what suitors end up taking those CEO positions, especially Bob Iger in Disney.
Yeah, Big Bobby. Big Bobby Iger. Yeah, so Apple continuing to go down here, guys. I flattened out at 42s, and we just printed, I think, 37. So that rounded top off. If you're looking here, it looks like the 50 period, but on the 5, it's the 10, and it's identical. So rounded top there, coming right back down. I want to see what we do at the whole dollar level, 182 or thereabouts. The future, though, does not look like it's going to get. It's not catching a bid. I mean, like here's the NQ right now. On the NQ, we didn't print lows. 18,188 is a LOD, but we'll definitely keep eyes on 18.2 because to me, you know, the real support level here is 18.2. So we'll keep eyes on that, see if we're able to break below that level or not. I'm going to keep my eyes on the future, but I am very interested in getting long on Meta. Very. And let's see here. I think the dips are coming into 50. So let's just do this, baby. Come what may, Adara. We're going to go. We're going to do it. Let's go to META. I'm going to put a dip trade hanging out at those here 50s. I'm going to put 55s. Because what is life without Whimsy? Nice. What's going on over there?
Oh, CELH. I clapped. It literally just basically dropped into my entry point, but I didn't want to get out. So I want to talk about this for a second.
Nice. Go.
I'm aware we have slightly higher highs and higher lows. However, I have no reason to leave yet because we have not had any kind of, you know, rhythm, motion in the ocean, as they sometimes say, at that 86 level. We kind of get there and we go, maybe not. Continue to the downside. I am fully willing to recognize I'm going to have to scalp my way out of this. I wanted initially a lot more. I wanted at least 50 cents. I can recognize that might not happen. We will be scalpy, getting scalpy with it, nah. But yeah, I mean, I don't want to leave just yet. I do want to shout out DJK in the chat a couple days ago was saying, like, you know, if you don't feel confident in the trade, just get out. I do think there is still some opportunity in this trade, which is why I'm staying in. But I do want to also recognize that the odds are a skosh stacked against me now. And I think that's a fair point to recognize, to chat on, to ruminate upon. Cameron Bailey says BA dropping, hopefully not the planes. Woo. Sorry, I had to. Hopefully it's not the planes that are dropping, and it's just the stock. Oh my llama, what is happening?
Oh my God.
Boeing, what are you doing with your life, sir?
Bro.
NASA contractor warns against Boeing space launch due to the risk of a disaster. That's a quote, risk of a disaster.
That's legitimately, here it is.
That's a legitimate quote.
Yeah, that's
not ebullient, Sharif.
No, it's not.
It's really not.
What's the opposite of ebullient?
Some people in the chat were joking aberrant, but I don't think that's really. I can't take any credit for that, but that was pretty funny.
Yeah, no, I mean, we know that NASA is scheduled to launch. They're trying to rival SpaceX with their space delivery system to the International Space Station. But let's call a spade, man. SpaceX well ahead of them at the moment. Look, I'm long a Meta at these here levels. I'm looking to defend that 471.50. If that comes in, I'll DCA. It's going to be a planned DCA add into 471.50. 471 is the level where I draw the line. It's not the best out, but it's the one that works best with my risk management parameters. So I'm going to look here for continuation. I'm looking for a rounded bottom on META. It did put in, you know, a pseudo-looking head and shoulders on the one, which, you know, I'm not going to put too much stock in. But the point is, it looks like it was making higher highs and higher lows with bottoming tail candles and bottoming tail. And bottoming tail candles are usually quite bullish. Michel Hebert, what's up, sir? One of the OGs there in the chat. Shout out to Michel Hebert, $5 Canadian. Went long GameStop at 1740 earlier at open, sold at 1995, excuse me. Went long again at 1750 because it was resistance the whole week. Now support. Good idea? Well, let's find out. So I'm just going to put my beak wetter on META just in case it makes its way up there because it's pamping at the moment. So we'll see if we're able to take some profits. Let's load up GameStonk for our friend Michel Hebert, one of the OGs again in the chat. Shout out to Quebec.
Quebec.
Yeah. So let's have a look at what the levels he was talking about here. So here we go. Oh, flat bottom breakish. Oh, Michel Hebert. This looks, so he went long, 1740, and then he covered everything at 1995. That's a ridiculous out. Shout out to you, man. That's the big move comes back down. He's long again, 1750, because it is a bit of a flat bottom at those levels. I like that. My concern, Michel, though, is this is very hockey stickish. Hockey stick pattern-ish, where it has that V-shaped retracement with a flat bottom, and then typically what we could get is a flat bottom break. I do like your idea of trying to buy off support. The only thing that concerns me, though, is it's rejecting off the 10 period on the 5, and the wicks are, they're having that magnetic effect into the 10 period, then it looks like it's selling off. And so my concern is here, the lower highs, lower highs, lower high, lower high, with no lower low, flat bottom at 1740 or thereabouts. If the bottom doesn't give out, this is a great entry. But if the bottom gives out, I think it might be trouble. Let's zoom out a little bit, see where the bottom could. So it's 1720, 1715, an interesting area of support back from May 8th, Michel. And then you have 16 2/3, so that's not the look there. So yeah, that 17 1/4, Michel, we had a bit of a double top there. Oh, that's that level Neil was talking about. Neil had been talking about the 17 1/4 for a minute. Oh, wow, there goes GameStop right down into 17. As we speak live, it did drop off on the bottom. I kind of had a feeling that flat bottom break was going to come in, Michel. And I hope you had proper risk management parameters there and you were able to get out, or looking to defend 17. Let me know how it goes. But yeah, that is a little bit of the risk there with that pattern. So I did get printed on META, nice, for a 25 penny winner, but alas, it's coming down now well below my entry. I'm still looking for 471.50 planned DCA enter. We'll see what we get. Actually, I should probably cancel this because the future is absolutely tanking into 18.2 Adara. Let's see what happens here.
I clapped for the wrong moment there,
It's
but
all
shout out
good.
to your beak wetter on that.
No problem.
You know, you don't need Zuck when you have plans and when you have trading ideas. So shout out to you. Also, Michelle Hebert clarified you did get stopped out.
Yeah,
And
okay, good.
17.35 broke. So thank you for letting us know, because that's definitely something we want to know. And thank you for your support for the show. Starbucks. I like the short. Initially, I was long. I like the 90 EMA rest. Then I was like, that's not working. Got out where I wanted to. Yada, yada, yada. Where's the next trade? The next trade was, well, there were other trades before this, but I wanted to get short 76 on Starbucks. Why? Because it's a lower high. Now, we did have a slightly higher low. I'm cognizant of that. I think this could be a little bit more of a scalpy thing, but I'm risking like 8 pennies here. If we break above, make a higher high above that 76.08, bye, bye, bye. No longer in sync with this stock. Gonna have to go order, maybe I'm gonna have to like switch to Tim Hortons. No, I'm joking, but I'll just have to leave the stock. We are kind of resting a bit on the 90 MA. Don't love that, but I think I like the overall pattern better, especially for what I'm looking for. Shout out to my pal Celsius. Again, I keep trading caffeine names this week, which also I saw some comments in the chat. I always want to clarify, I am not nearly as caffeinated as people assume that I am.
No.
I like having high energy. I mostly just drink tea. I had some matcha this morning, which is caffeinated, but usually I am just energized by these markets. And how I like to put it, I like to talk fast because these markets kind of demand it. They're moving quickly. Like, Adara, you have to talk about me, and like, oh, you can't forget about this small cap, like the markets. She wants a lot of attention.
It
So I'm
does,
gonna have to, you know, modulate my vocal speed and its velocity to match that of the market.
I like it.
Yes, thank you. So I got like happy with what I did with this Celsius. I was a little bit nervous in this one because I was worried we were kind of making these higher lows and a flat top, getting ready for a flat top break, but I still felt confident in the position, which is why I stayed in and ended up taking this for like 25 pennies. 25 pennies. Please just punch there. No complaints. Starbucks, if you want to get low, I would be pleased as punch. No complaints there. I don't have much else I'm looking at. Tesla continuing. I'm still really proud I took Tesla because this is the first Mag 7 trade I've had since going live. I really want to see what we do here. We are chopping and churning, but like I said, if I do anything with Mr. Cybertruck and his esteemed Mag 7 pals, I will be doing so as a scalp play only, with a very tight stop and a very modulated predefined risk. So that will be the plan if I decide to take another one of these Mag 7s to the formal. How are you doing?
Not bad. Got in again on Meta, looking to defend this level here on Softy as well. This 412.75 level on Softy I'm looking to defend. We're like 3 pennies in the money on Meta, 2 pennies out of the money on Softy. I'm looking for a beak wetter at the $0.25 on Meta. I'm still persuaded, you know, that this one is curling up a bit, and we did defend 18.2 by a little bit. Bang, and there we get the partial fill there on META. Go up, bro. Give me the full fill. There we go. Now we get the full fill on the Zuck train. All right, now we're doing decent here on Softy. We're gonna put a beak wetter at 98s, because what is life without whimsy? And we'll see if we get printed there. Knocking on the door, there's 98s, and there it is, baby. So we call this market right, doing well on Softy and on Meta, about 50 pennies in said money on META, looking for a big move up in an 18.2 defend. If we get an 18.2 defend, I think we'll get a decent move on the Zuck train, and there it is, baby, $0.0025. Woo! Penny club. No, for real though.
$0.0025 club.
There we go, and we're flattening out on Softy as well. I'm happy with both these trades. They were both off key levels. Bang, bang, bang.
I like that. Can I say I'm pleased as punch?
Thank you, Adair. I appreciate you.
You took, given some nice moves up there for Microsoft and its pal Meta.
I like that.
I tried to get involved in Soxel for that pop-up because I was like, I liked where we were bouncing. I said, hey, Adair, let's jump on that trampoline. And Soxel was like, you're too slow. I'm going to have to say bye without you. So that's fine, Soxel. If you want to keep projecting below that 9 EMA, below that 41 level, I'm going short. Again, we're trying to get back to the scalpy roots there. So that's really what the goal is. Not any Mag 7s I'm really looking at right now. Qs, Qs, if you're going to keep getting a little bit rangy here, Sean called out that range earlier. I was trying to dance around in that and ended up just getting chopped out and leaving. Q's my worst name of the day, but that means the only way I can go on them is better. No, I'm joking. With stocks, you can always do worse, but you just have to have that optimism and that willingness to attack them with that viciousness. This is the line I drew this morning because this was a flat top break yesterday, that 58.90 level. The fact that we keep interacting with it, I love. Je t'aime.
Je t'aime.
Get involved here. And last time, I was a little tasty. I got involved 58.84s. Now, if we don't get 58.89s, we don't get anything. So that's what I'm going for. We are scalping. We want the viciousness, the swiftness, and all of the smoke. Also, in that big move out there, Starbucks did kind of nothing. Someone in the chat was saying we should change Starbucks' name to the dead one. I disagree. Starbucks actually had a lot of really nice moves lately. Today, though, definitely a little bit chop and churny and a bit compressed. But I think Apple's earned its name of the dead one by moving a little bit more calmly compared to its Mag 7 siblings, for the most part. So there we go. Let's see how this Starbucks brews. I want to be brewing up some shorts and a little bit of profit. Let's go take a look at HPE because the Stitch Lady said this one is scalpable, and I'm really just looking for scalps right now. So that's what I'm going to have to take a look at. And how are you doing?
I'm good. Nothing, no positions right now. We got out of both Meta and Softy. So I want to look at some small gappers. We haven't traded any small gappers today, and they're kind of dying out a little bit now. Now I see a new one starting to emerge. It goes by this ticker CDIO, Cardio Diagnostics.
It's run before.
Yeah, I remember this one, right? Like it has a ticker that's familiar to me. So let's put it in the name right there so you guys can follow along on said small cap crapper. No, it's Gapper. It's Gapper. All right, so it's doing the dance with no pants right now with that $1 area, and this is exactly why I changed my scanner to show me small cap gappers north of 85 pennies. It was a suggestion made by Neil. He told me, look, if you're going to set your filter on your scanner to $1, you're never going to know about those ones that are approaching the $1 area. And there is a trade to be had both from the south side of $1 and the north side. Once a stock or a small cap gapper like this one clears $1 and it clears it by some distance, you can sometimes use that dollar as support. Conversely, if it gets into $1 and isn't able to break it, you can often have a trade as a short off that $1 resistance. So we'll see how this one does. It just showed up on my scanner right now. The deets on it are as follows: 21.8, $22 million market cap. It changed as I was speaking. The float, 17.75 million shares. So not small, but not large either. Right now, it does look like it's fighting that $1 area with success up into $1.03. Look, I know we're talking about pennies at a time, but if you're 10,000 shares deep into this, you know what I mean? Like it's about share size here, but the actual notional move. With respect to amount of volume done on the day, it's very important to note this. We're only about 4.5 million shares. And the reason is the volume just started coming in at 11:40, so we're 12 minutes deep into the volume. Prior to that, we had about less than 250,000 shares per 5-minute candle. Now we're well over 1.75 million, which makes sense. It's a dollar stock, right? We need to have ample liquidity in this name. Otherwise, the entire setup is suspect. So keep your eye on this one. CDIO making big boy moves right now. We'll see if it continues. A new one is also showing up on my scanner. It goes by the ticker ORGO, but not enough volume, so I will not bring that up. SGBX is making big boy moves here. Let's see what SGBX is up to. Who are we going to take off? We're going to take off NVAX because it's doing nothing. SGBX. This one looks good there. It just reclaimed the volume-weighted average price. This one has been moving yesterday to the downside, today recovering. Let me give you the deets on this. $6.8 million market cap. This company is basically free. Half a million, I'm kidding. 500,000 share float at the moment. So keep your eye on that. This one could absolutely move big boy. SGBX is the ticker. And it just reclaimed the volume-weighted average price at 550. HOD, this is not even actually HOD. That's the 8:30 a.m. high is 650. So you know my rules are. Definable pre-market high, trading above pre-market high, and trading above VWAP. So it's got 2 out of the 3. It's got a definable pre-market high. It's trading above VWAP, but it hasn't printed above 650. That's a pre-market high, so I'd stay clear of this myself. If you want to trade it, go ahead. But nice move up here. Looks like it held the 50 period as a key level of support, that 490. Double bottom off the 50 period, and up we go. Looking to test that $6 area there.
Yeah, speaking of Tesla's testing my patience here.
Uh-oh.
I was trying to get, I'm still trying to scalp to shorts off the same level. Keep missing by a couple pennies. I'm not chasing though. I'm trying to chase less in general, and especially if you're not going to chase anything, please don't chase a giant, heavy Cybertruck. That is never the vibe. That is never the mood. So I'm not going to do that. I've noticed that we keep bouncing off this 95 level into 169.15. I want to wait for it to resolve a little bit more. The short I really should have taken though in Mag 7 land, to use a Sharifism, is Apple. Apple, that short off the 90 MA was really nice, and I didn't take it. But you know what, Apple, if you want to give it to me again, hi, I'm here.
Hi.
I'm down to get Tim cooking. Got out of Starbucks. Starbucks, my worst name in the day right now. He was a spicy one. This tripped me up here. Look, we have this wick into that area, 78,608. I say bye-bye, and then Starbucks is like, oh, jokes. I'm gonna go back anyway. I'm like, hey, Starbucks, you know what? Chop me up a little bit. That's okay. Might take. I think this one gets kicked off the side chart. I think I have to evict it.
Okay.
It's just not really the vibe. Couple pennies out of the money in the TQs. If we break above 59, I'm outie. If not, I want to keep taking that bad boy short, to use a Sharifism there.
I like it. All right, let's have a look at some other stuff here. I mean, look, let's be real. There's some good trades going on. They're all to the south side right now. Let's talk about some key areas of resistance. So I see you guys yelling in the chat. I love it. You guys are happy with the Meta call, and it just made a big boy move back into the volume weighted average price, 473.25. I like that. We got a topping tail candle off it though, so I am a little concerned. And the reason I am concerned a little bit is because we're not really getting away from that 18.2 with vigor. We got a nice looking double bottom on the future, no question about it, but we're rejecting off the 20 period on the 5. And so I think that's keeping a bit of a damper on any move up here on the Mag 7, save and except really for the Zuck train on META. You got other great possible trades. Look at this 10 period rejection on the Amazonian. Every single time it's weaseled its way into the 10 period on the 5, it's rejected. Look, if you get a breach of the 10 period, do not fear. The 20 period is here. The 20 period often catches those deeper retracements, the one that make it north of or down, if you're going long, of the 10 period. So once the 10 period is breached, look for another possible rejection or bounce, depending on you going long or short, off the 20 period. The 20 period is the yellow line, the yellow solid line on my chart over here. So I could be absolutely persuaded to get into a short on the Amazonian, given the day it had yesterday. It's down 1%. Prints all-time highs. Obviously, we're going to get a bit of a retracement here. Amazon rejecting the 10 period on the way down, in the same way that the dead one has been rejecting it as well. Look at all these wicks into the 10 period. Each and every single one has sold off. I got into the Apple short around here, and we rode it down into the 40s. It's doing the dance with no pants right now in the mid to high 50s. So that's another interesting look there. Let's see what the soft one has been rejecting VWAP all morning. But don't sit there with a resting order right at VWAP, because as you can see on both ascents into VWAP prior, the wicks breached VWAP, but all the closing prints came south of the volume weighted average price. That means you got to pack your patience and wait for that retracement or look for it. So that's what I'm thinking there. Softy knocking the door again of the volume weighted average price. A nice range here establishing on the soft one, 414 to the high side. And essentially, you could make the case of 412.75, or, you know, just a loosey-goosey 413. So about $1 worth of range right now on Microsoft. You could play that range to success. Adara does that. She's perfected that. Make sure you're watching what Adara is doing when she is doing that range trading, because she's really taken to that. Now, the Goggles. Goggles has had a bit of a different day on the 5-minute. It's had rejections off the 50 period. So we were talking about the other ones all getting rejections off the 10. That should kind of bring your attention a little bit to the fact that Google may have already sold off a little too much already. So I would look for maybe here a possible retracement on Google. I'll be looking for a break of the 50 period on a closing basis. It's rejected it twice or 3 times so far. One at 8 a.m. on the institutional print, one over here right at 10 o'clock, and then we just got a double top over here, 11:30, 11:25. It moved into the 50 period and sold off. So everything really is more down and to the right than anything else. But the market, okay, now we're about to print 18,240 here, so we're starting to get away a little bit from 18 to Adair. Let's see what the rest of the afternoon brings here. I'm ready for any of these shorts.
Yeah, to quote the title of one of my favorite TI songs, Ready for Whatever.
Hey.
So I really want to see, I want to listen to that now. That song is such a, if anyone knows that song, shout me out in the chat, because that is literally, that whole song's playing in my head right now.
Ram plays music Friday mornings. Okay, so her and Fabian alternate. He comes in 1 week early, she comes in 1 week early. So when Ram's here, she plays music Friday mornings. And I have not seen Adara happier in my entire life than she was this morning when Ram was playing music.
Neil's like hitting the back button for that. I was singing along. I got the watch list done way faster than I thought I would because the music motivated me. Ramin was playing a lot of I almost said Ram. Ramin was playing a lot of throwbacks from 2010s. So I thought that was like a really, really fun time there. Shout out to Ramin and our Friday music, pardon? Neil was not down for me calling the 2010 stuff throwback. Also, it's been throwing back up to the downside, up and down. Tesla, we call it stressful for a reason. I'm flat on this name now because I had a failed long, but the thing is, if I hadn't gotten stopped out, I would have been fine. I just had to get out if we broke below that 80s area. So you know what? Sayonara, Tesla. If you keep ranging, I will play you. But I need to be cognizant. The range was tighter. Now it's getting a little bit wider. So if it's going to get wider, I need to be cognizant of that. DJ Marshall knowing that reference. So thank you for getting, Paper Trail, great album there by Mr. T.I. Also, I got out of my TQQ trade. Tesla had that move to the downside that got me out of the long. TQQ had that move to the upside that got me out of the short. But you know what? I missed the range again here. Come on, TQs. I should be really getting that rejection off 59 instead of taking the rejection off 58.90. That is my bad. That is something I have to learn from. But that's what we're here to do in these markets, is learn. Also, that Microsoft range you pointed out has me pleased to sponge. Ooh. I think I might, you call it a Adara Panera trade, and I think I would like to give it the Adara Panera 3D press of approval there.
You need an Adara Panera animation.
I don't know. Maybe. I'd be okay with that.
I like that soft one short. I'm looking at the exact same thing you're looking at there. It was multiple VWAP rejections on Softy, but there does seem to be a little bit of strength right now on Microsoft. So I'm unsure about exactly what to do. I think the right thing to do is just to punch and to trust that your charting is your charting, and come what may. So we're going short on the soft one. Already in the money. All right, printing on the soft one already. That was super quick. Adair, what do you got?
Quick.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have the same thing. I'm getting out half the position here, 37s, that little chop and turn area that we dipped below. We're coming back up a little bit. Come on, Microsoft. Let's get that USB drive to the downside. I want to download a little bit of a short here. I'm really happy with how I did, and thank you for pointing this out. I say how I did. I haven't even gotten any profit on this. Calm down, girl. Getting a little too excited. Don't count those shares before they've been profit taken on. I want to get some. We'll get some out around 50s. We'll take 20 pennies or 10 pennies. 20 pennies with half my position. If we break above that, if we break above 413.80s decisively with these wick areas, I'm going to be out. Oh, no. Little sad I wasn't able to take profit, but if you want to keep dropping to the downside, Microsoft, I wouldn't blame you. In fact, I might be pleased to sponge. So there we go. MSFT in the place to be this Friday afternoon. I'm just in a really good mood here. What's everybody else looking at? Any things that I can take a look at? Home Depot, Big Rob wants to look at Home Depot. Home Depot is going to be, renovating their earnings report. That works better in my head. They're going to be giving you their earnings next week. Home Depot, no. Deep move to the downside here for Home Depot. Trying to come back to that 346.40. Had a wick above. It was the bearish candle that it kind of looked like it might be continuing to swoop to the downside. So Home Depot, a little bit of a a rough look there if you were involved in the short. But yeah, didn't make a lower low here though, notably. We did come and hang out a little bit at 346. Let's see what happens. Do not love that Microsoft's trying to float back to the upside here. I would like this to be, I wanted a bit more of a major move to the downside. I wish I'd taken some profit there, but woulda, coulda, shoulda. Happy I got involved in the trade, and again, I really do want to shout out Sharif for giving me the confidence to get back into my old scalpy Meg 7 ways. This has been a fun day. Not everything's been profitable, but I think sometimes it's not about getting the profit with every single trade. It's about learning, it's about growing, it's about becoming more comfortable with yourself. And if this is the stuff that I love doing, these ranges on the Meg 7s, when I was in the sim, I want to try doing it again more now that I'm live.
Right.
So thank you for that.
Absolutely. No, and I wasn't trying to toot your horn or anything,
No,
but
I
I
know
was
you
trying
were
to
trying to
tell you
motivate me.
specifically
Yeah.
because I had watched you trade.
No,
You
I
have to understand,
appreciate
I'm
that.
like looking at it from an objective perspective, right?
Yeah.
Watched you trade, watched you execute in the sim, watched you do it day in and day out. So I was like, it behooves me to tell you that you've got the skill. So
I appreciate the behoovement.
Yeah, the behoovement. What were you saying, Ram? What were you saying?
Sorry,
I'm so sorry. I'm not part of the inside joke that Adara and Ram have that I'm no longer part of. So too bad there. All right, guys. I still haven't taken anything out of this softie. When I put my order out, but the spread was Microsoft-ish in spread. So I didn't get the fill, but I've put my out already into the high 90s. It's gonna have to hold the range for me to stay interested on this, but we'll see what happens. I think Neil is ready. So are you ready? Yeah, so I think Neil is ready. So we're gonna send you to the lesson of the day. Make sure to hang out, find out what he has to say. Lesson of the day.
Hey, what's up, everybody? Lesson of the day. Today we got a different one because I'd like to be able to show a chart with an idea, and I wasn't even involved in the stock. Now the notion here that I wanted to talk about is zones of interest. So often you'll hear us say support and resistance, key price levels, and you want to make sure you're making decisions or making trades around key price levels. Picking the right time to get in is just as important as picking the right stock. Like it's processes to a trade, right? You have to have the right stock or a stock that's going to give you an opportunity to move. You have to have a reason to like a direction or another. You have to have an area that you want to engage in a trade and all that good stuff. So whether it starts with where am I going to get out and then I'm wrong here, so therefore I get in there, or this is the area I want to get into and then come up with an execution plan, it all starts with identifying it. So the most simple form of finding these key zones of interest is look at the day before or like the week before or the short-term time frame if you're a day trader or a short-term trader. And if it's really, really obvious, just start there. And sometimes when a stock is in play and has news, it's going to give you some fantastic levels. Now, yesterday, I'll use Apple as the example, even though I haven't traded it. Apple comes out in the middle of the day and they're talking about their new AI chip coming out this year for data center, and you're going to see at the time that it came out, and it's this weird volume spike in here, the bottom 183.90, so essentially 184, it spiked to a top here like 184.6, and then came right back down. So it showed that range, then it just traded that range to the upside for the rest of the afternoon. And if you look at what that 184 was, it ended up being a double or triple top from the morning. So when you come into today, you've already got some zones of interest. Let me actually just draw the top of that because I didn't. You've already got some zones of interest to trade off of. So first things first, you have the morning support, which is sort of obvious as well. It was, oddly enough, that afternoon, the day before afternoon resistance. You've got the 184, and this is about 184.65 up top. You fast forward, so those lines are in play. You fast forward to the open, and then regardless of what direction you like in the stock. I mean, if you liked the long in the stock, I can see reasons why you might have got trapped into a long, but when it couldn't hold, pretty easy to have gotten out there. And I think at that point, it's trending the wrong direction off of your first support line. So there's not much of a reason to like the long. You can get in, you can get out, you take your shot. It doesn't hold the open. If it breaks out, you're holding a breakout trade. In the case of a short, well, it just starts setting up one of my favorite short setups, which is a failed break of the top. So it's already in the pre-market holding above that support. The very first candle at the open breaks that support. Like it just immediately breaks that support from 184.60. It tries to go higher. There's it taking out the top and instant rejection. So that's immediately bearish, right? But you want to see what happens at that support level. You don't have to do anything. Patience is a virtue. It breaks lower, goes right into your next level. Remember, these are drawn from yesterday's levels. You just want to see if it's going to observe it, and bounces with a failure underneath that top from yesterday. Now, this is where you're trying to get back end here, somewhere in the 184.35 to 40 range. You can throw your stop up there. Remember, off yesterday's level, not necessarily to here, not necessarily to there. You're going to give it back into that 65, 30 cents worth of risk. It pulls right down into that previous bid. And even if you didn't like it there, what happens when it tries to test above the next level? It then respects your day before, wicks above, right back underneath. There's another failure. You're short till the next zone. Look at it, hold the bid at that next zone. Falls apart at the next zone down. Remember, these are just yesterday's levels. Consolidate underneath, tries to wick back above, fails again at that price, makes a new low, and then again fails the same price. Now, it's not about the fact that every single one of these held, because you could miss one or two, but once you've observed those zones being so key, you can even just take the last trade. No, you don't even have to be in the first failure. You don't have to be in the second failure. You could just, wow, this is working on every single one of those price levels. Why not just get into it here and take that last trade? You know, it's okay. And if you're trying longs, like I say, it's always okay to be wrong. It's not okay to stay wrong. And that kind of works in both directions. You don't have to have the beginning of the trend, but if you're trading the stock, you don't want to be against the trend forever and not miss an opportunity to float in there and just take that one last-ditch effort. It might not be as big a trade as you could have at the open, but it's still going to yield a winning trade for you. And it's just a very simple concept. We talk about support and resistance on massive levels. Sometimes you can find ones that aren't so big, but are as simple as the day before. And once it gives you multiple layers of confirmation, I'd like to think it gave you a couple up here, with the fail up top, and then with the consolidation lower, try to bounce there, that taking the second one is reasonable. Taking the third one is 100% worth it at that particular point. Now, this always, you know, it's going to cut in both ways sometimes, because you're going to have sometimes key levels that are really spaced apart. And it's easy to get tripped up on them. And I look back, and hindsight's always going to be 20/20. And if I use the same lesson on AMD, when it's nice and tight, the levels like an Apple, it's always going to be, it's a little obvious. When you have this much space on AMD, it's easy to miss the real big opportunity to the downside. And because AMD was so strong and your anchor due up here, when it takes out the big level from yesterday, this one, it doesn't do anything but fall right through. What are you going to do at 154? Unless you just blindly leg it short. But if you just look at the day before and this range, when I'm looking to go long there, you're missing the opportunity for that previous level of resistance at that 153 change. And what happens when it gets down in there? Bounces, tries to reclaim it, and then there's an opportunity to be short with a tight stop. Right into the 152. It's still like 70, 80 cents into that 52 level. Even if you like that 52 like I did and you're going to lose going long, there was still that one short opportunity. Where is the one green candle on the 3-minute? And if you're zooming it out in the moment, a lot of times you're not focused on that. You're just focused on your level and how much it's moving. But if you go back and look at that big zone, it's as easy as the day before. And all you have to do is have it charted and ready in case, because you know it's trend down, it makes the bounce. Can that bounce get above? Doesn't? Go. That's 15 cents worth of risk, maybe 20 tops. And then it goes straight down into the 152 level. As a matter of fact, if you hold through 152, you get even more than that, maybe even holding down underneath these pre-market lows. So it's about zones of interest. Every now and then, it just behooves you or makes sense to have them charted, just in case they perfectly line up, especially when a stock gets going, maybe in a direction that you weren't prepared for or looking for. It gives you something easy in terms of a stair-step pattern to join the trend and find multiple places to do it. The trend is your friend. You'd rather be with it. It's an easy way. Just look at the day before. If it happens to line up, you take the shot. If it doesn't line up, then it's not really following the thesis of the previous day's levels, and no harm, no foul. It took you a couple of seconds to chart it, and worst comes to worst, you find yourself a winner. If you find nothing, you don't have to trade it. That's your lesson of the day.
Thank you very much, Neil. As he was dropping hot lines, Zeekr is now open, ZK on the New York. That's ticker ZK on the New York. It just popped up, big boy there, into $29.20. It's dancing right now below 29. It's at that 28 and change. Look, we're talking about IPOs today, and so this is a perfect time to kind of try to utilize everything that we're talking about. Make sure you have a plan before you get in, guys. Try to identify key areas of support and resistance. Look at multi-time frames, the 1, the 5, the 10, 15. See what's jiving. Before you jump in, try to use some of the principles that we've talked to you about today. I think the IPO price was 21, and then the actual open price was, well, here the open price exactly is 26. So opened at 26, launched into 29.20, and now is doing the dance here in the mid 28s. Keep an eye out on that. Simultaneously, I'm still short Softy. Because we're still at the volume weighted average price, but looks like I may get stopped out here as it is moving up on the market. So it looks like I'm just a matter of time before I get stopped out, which is okay. We tried the trade. It was an established range at VWAP, but that range doesn't have to hold forever. So we'll keep eyes on that. Yes, and I'm now officially out of Softy as it breaks through 414. And what also is breaking through is Meta. Look at the move Meta is doing here, guys. We were long this name at 472. Now it's knocking the door of 475. Big move up here for Meta. Nice rounded bottom of there.
When you say big, half the time I expect it to be big Kyle Burdett, and it was like Meta, which is also, I think earns the name big because it does make big moves and has a big spread. But that's why, again, shout out for that Meta trade, because that's an awesome trade. Meta is like a really hard one to trade as well. So I've noticed a lot of these names are getting a little bit wedgy, for lack of a better term, wedge-esque. But I do like this stock sell still. We're making these lower highs. I know we have slightly higher lows as well, but I think stock sell has given us a built-in area to get out around that 78 area. Same kind of area I was playing earlier. That was resistance, or sorry, not even resistance, it was support a couple times. So I do like that. Right now, flat on it. Starbucks, I still had in my side chart, and it was on my mind. And it decided to do this. When I say this, I will show you what I mean. It decided to do this. And I was like, you know what? I think this could be a long. And then Starbucks was like, actually, Dara, you missed the lineup and all the drinks are sold out. So you're going to have to wait at the curb. And I'm like, that's okay, Starbucks. I'll try to find another opportunity. I'm flat on Microsoft. I think that we had that move up above 413.80 with a viciousness. I said bye-bye. Happy that I took some profit. Wish I had just taken all the profit there. If I want to call myself a scalper, you know what I need to be doing? Scalping more. Scalping more. So that's all good. You live, you learn, you grow, hopefully. And that's really all there is to it. I'm also just really proud of myself that I'm trying to get outside my comfort zone and take some of these Mag 7s while live. And the thing is, with the Tesla and the Microsoft, I felt really good about both those setups. So I can't cry myself to sleep because they didn't work out perfectly. I took trades I was confident in. Speaking of which, I want to take Google short. Why? We're rejecting off that previous support area. We have that topping tail candle. Yes. Short time, baby. I think I probably missed it, but I do want to take this short. And we don't have confidence, but we have, confidence, and we want to take the trades that we like. Scared trader is a deficient trader, as Sean says, and definitely, I do not want to be deficient. If I see something, as Ariana Grande says in 7 Rings, see it, I like it, I want it, I got it. So hopefully we get this trade. How are you doing?
Good, not in anything at the moment. Watching as Meta rejects 47.50. 47.50 is yesterday's closing print on Meta, so keep your eye on that. And as true to form, Softy right back down below 414 here. So I'm going to keep an eye on these markets, because if we start printing red candles on the 5 on Softy, I'll get short again. I don't have a problem with that. But because right now it's one hell of a topping tail candle on the 5. It hasn't closed like that yet. We're still waiting. There's 2 minutes left on this candle, so it can close any which way. I'm keeping an eye on both Softy and Meta because they're doing a bit better with respect to range. I really don't have anything else. I mean, I mentioned the Amazon 10-period rejection on the 5. That's holding true. Same thing with Apple, rejection of the 10-period on the 5. Tesla just printed new lows on TSLA there at 167.75. So a big move down there for Tesla as it continues to, you know, sell off. Yeah, Katina, man, as it continues to sell off after that nice bump up that we got a little while ago. So I'm waiting here on Softy as it's coming right back down now. I want to see how this candle closes. So if it closes the way it's shaped right now on the 5, this will be very interesting for me to get in here. So I'm going to pack my patience, wait to see if I can get in on Microsoft again. I still like this trade. And we'll see what happens from there. I don't have anything else. We talked about ZK being open. It's now retraced the entire move. I saw some joker in the chat saying that IPO trading is easy. Yeah, maybe if you're
omniscient.
Yeah, I guess, because yeah, I don't know how you would be able to predict this price action over here. A little bit at 29, a little bit at 27. You must be able to see the future. And in which case, tell me which way the futures are going.
Right.
So I'm keeping my eye on Microsoft. I'm keeping my eye on Meta, and that's really all I've got for now.
And biting into that apple. I got short apple. I like this constant rejection of that 9 EMA level. We are risking, if we make, it's really hard to see this chart, but I'm going to zoom in a little bit here. If we make basically like, we're going to risk like 10 pennies. If we break above that slightly higher high at 60s, bye. But I do want to get out. We're going to give this about, let's do 32s. I'm looking at levels I'm seeing on the esteemed chart. So I want to get out of 32s. Just trying to play that range. That's what we do over here on this side of the desk, or at least that's what I try to do. And I've accidentally made Sharif into a bit of a range trader too, apparently.
Good.
So, no, I mean, I tried to say pamp it. He tried, we range, yeah, that's what happens when you sit next to someone at a desk. You qualities. But
yeah.
Anyways, this stock, English, that's a fun language. Stock sell right now. I'm trying to get out at 80s. We're about a couple pennies away from that. I really just want to get back to range trading. That is what I need to do to feel confident with my life at this juncture. Please just punch right now. TQ is also that I should have probably taken short, but I wasn't as confident in it. And I want to take a trade that I'm okay-ish confident in. I want to take a trade that I'm like ride or die within reason with a stop loss. That is my bestie. That is my stock. That one's going on the sidecar and I'm going on the motorcycle like a Lana Del Rey video. I'm taking that stock with me, right? Within reason, of course. You want to get married to a stock, but you want to have an idea. I think maybe not married to the stock, but married to your concept, married to your plan. I'm married to my plan on stock sell. I'm married to my plan on Apple, and I'm not married to the plan on the TQs, which is why I didn't take it. So I think that's really important as well. And I've had that too, where people in the chat will be like, oh, look at this level, and I'll like it, but I don't have that, that yearning. I don't have that yearning for earnings. I don't have that yearning to really get involved to take that profit. So, sometimes you just have to stay out. And so I think having that passion is important for your kids.
Yeah, I agree completely with that. Well said, Dara. A short, again, on Softy. We'll see what comes here. Looking for a 414 VWAP general area rejection. A nice topping tail candle that got put in there, but it's one candle. We don't want to put too much into one candle. So I'm going to keep a tight stop here, risk a couple of bucks on this trade. Again, 475.50 possibly coming in for Meta. I want to see how it zooms through it this time around, because this 47.550 is the break-even point on the day. So if this one keeps pumping up here, we'll definitely be looking for something Meta related. Now Meta is going green on the day, baby. It just went flat as it comes into that 475.50. Keep a lookout for that. You need Blue Chew to pay you every time you say pamp it, says Quantran. Yeah, well, we'll see. Well, you never know exactly what they will end up connecting with us for. So I'll keep that on ice and let you know exactly how that goes. So it's a quarter past. No, it's a 20 past the hour. So we could start the lesson. I just want to put in my Softy outs. So I'll go ahead. No, you can take it off that screen. No, you can take it off that screen. Thank you. Thanks. So I have to enter my my out. That's why. So I'm gonna put it in at 19s. There we go. So we'll go ahead and do that, and we'll leave that. So now we can start the lesson du jour. All right, guys, we are talking about shorting the hype in the context of IPO trading. We've been talking about that IPO trading essentially all week. So that is what we're talking about. So do you ever feel that an IPO SPAC or direct listing is widely overvalued due to the hype? Short selling allows you to potentially profit if the price falls. This lesson equips you for intraday shorting on hyped up new listings. But remember, it's a tougher strategy with inherent risks. So make sure to be careful. Let me just see where my entries are at. Okay, good. There we go. So why would you want to short the hype, right? Because, one, you can capitalize on the overvaluation of the name. You saw ZK just take a bit of a nosedive there. So new listings with excessive hype might be priced above their intrinsic value. You profit if the price corrects closer to its actual value. So that's what we're doing here. And you also catch the euphoric downturn. The initial euphoria absolutely can create a bubble. So you short sell anticipating a price to decline as the hype subsides. That's why we are looking to short possibly these IPOs. So how do you identify that hype monster? Like, what are we doing here? So valuation metrics. One thing you can do to figure out whether it's overvalued or not is compare the company's valuation ratios like PE to industry benchmarks. A significant disconnect from that suggests potential overvaluation. So keep that in mind. Social media buzz as well. What is being said about this name on social media? Is there a frenzy of excitement online? Excessive hype can be red flag for a red flag and a potential shorting opportunity. So keep that in mind as well. And technical analysis. It gives you a good beat on how the chart is looking. So look for topping patterns like double tops or heads and shoulders, even triple tops. Right? That might indicate a potential trend reversal. So keep that on tab. And remember, here is basically an example of shorting the top. You've got a double top over here, or even a skewed looking head and shoulders with a really big right shoulder. In any event, you're looking for these topping patterns, these reversal patterns that show maybe the good times are over. So how do you short the hype? Like, what are we doing here, right? So first of all, you've got to figure out, is there shares that you can borrow? Because shorting requires you to borrow somebody's fully paid shares. Once you get that, you can sell them into the market and then buy them later at a cheaper price. You profit from the difference. So you got to make sure that the stock that you want to short is available for short, okay? That's number one. And you also need to look at how much it's going to cost you. Because sometimes, on this floor, sometimes it costs you money, sometimes it's not that much, but you need to factor that into your P&L, okay? And your entry point, look for technical indicators suggesting a potential break. So this could be like a bearish reversal pattern like we mentioned, head and shoulders, double top, triple top, or it could even be something more nuanced like a negative or a bearish divergence between price and RSI. If you don't know what that is, you're gonna have to refer back to a previous lesson or Google it, okay? Because you're looking for indicators technically that are showing you the winds of change may be coming. And then your stop loss orders. So important here. Since the price can surge in an upward trend, set a stop loss order above that key area of resistance to limit potential losses. That may be a tougher endeavor than, may initially appear. Let's look at ZK to see if we can kind of have any examples about that right now. So let's pull up ZK. So here it is. So obviously we can see here 29, a bit of a resistance level. Sure, we get wicks into 29.37, but look where the closing prints are. They're all at 29 or below 29. So right away we can make an educated guess that 29 is a resistance level. So if I was to get short anywhere, I could have 29 or even the top wick 29 and a third, as that key area where I want to place my stop above. So we don't have a lot of data to work with. This is the 1 minute chart. This launched at 12:09, so it's been trading for less than 20 minutes. Yeah. So the point is, with these IPOs, you don't have a whole lot of data off which to work. So, making these assessments about support and resistance sometimes a little bit tougher than it may meet the eye. All right, go softy. No, it's not even coming down. Yeah, it's not even coming down that much. Anyway. Exit strategy. So how are you going to weasel your way in and weasel your way out? So you got to look for quick profits with these. I mean, if you're going to short them. So consider profit targets based on percentages because you don't have a whole lot of data on the chart. So you could say to yourself, all right, I'm looking for a 5 to 10% winner, and I'll risk in exchange for that a 2.5 to 5% stop loss range. Okay? So keep that in mind. Important considerations that you should also be aware of here. There is the ever-present risk of short squeezing, okay? And if you don't know what short squeeze is and you want to understand the technicalities behind it, you know, do a quick Google search, go to Gemini AI or whatever you do there and ask what a short squeeze is. But you need to understand what it is, because if you're going to short, especially these more volatile names, you got to have a good understanding about that. So if the stock price unexpectedly surges due to buying pressure, you might face a short squeeze forcing you to buy back the shares at a higher price to the close you're short, leading to significant losses. There's also the issue of margin requirements. Very important here as well. Short selling often requires margin, meaning you need to put up a portion of the capital up front. So you have to have a margin account, you have to have a certain amount of money in your account, and then your brokerage will give you different buying power based on the volatility of the name. Here's what I mean. So my brokerage will give me 3 times my buying power for Apple, because Apple is not like, what's going on there, Katina, man? Oh, yeah. Because Apple is not that volatile of a stock. But if I try to get shorts on, I don't know, an NVIDIA, it's probably going to be a 1-for-1. They're going to tell me we're not giving you any margin on NVIDIA because it's just too volatile. So you have to know exactly how your broker is treating that particular name, okay? And how much money you need to have in order to be able to actually execute the short. These are all nuanced things that you need to apprise yourself of before you ever get involved, okay? Unlimited potential losses, in theory, in practice, you're probably going to get covered or you're going to get margin called and your position is going to get closed before it ever becomes unlimited, right? So the point is, when you go long a stock, your risk is how much money you put into the name. So if you put in $2,000, that's the amount of money you can lose. But when you're short, theoretically, the price can go to whatever. And so you could be on the hook for that entire move. So keep that in mind as well. And some bonus tips. Start small, guys, right? Begin with small short positions to manage your risk and gain experience before increasing your size, right? And hedge your bets, right? You can consider using options instead of actually trying to go short on the name. And you could buy puts, and that way it kind of limits your risk to what you've bought that options contract for. Conversely, you could hedge your position. So you could say go short Apple or whatever, not Apple, the IPO, and then possibly look to buy calls on it. Now, the issue with IPOs is you may not have options on it for a few weeks. That was the case with the VFS. Everybody wanted to buy puts on VFS, and the options weren't available from the market maker. So you had to wait. Yeah.
That's interesting.
Mm-hmm. So that's a look there. And stay informed. The hype can absolutely shift quickly. Stay updated on news and market sentiment to adjust your strategy if needed.
Yeah, that VinFast, I know. Sharif. No, I'm trying, I can't do it.
Ram's laughing.
I'm sorry. I don't know.
All good.
But yeah, no, I just wanted to like try to emulate the fantastical cadence with which you say my voice.
Hey, we always have fun around here.
Oh, we have a great time over here. We have a great time with everybody in the chat as well. Always shout out to you. But yeah, one thing I want to say too was I'm very sad I missed the opportunity to see the VinFast IPO, because that was like, I think, a week before I started. And it sounds like that was like a really fun, crazy one. It
was a good one.
That I was not a part of. Also, what I'm no longer a part of is my Starbucks short.
Uh-oh.
Because we scalped it out. Sorry for all the snapping. I'm just really excited.
All good.
I wanted to take this because initially I liked the long. Well, I've liked a couple things here. I liked the long. Thought it was valid, got out, happy with it. Like, I'm happy with the risk management and all of these, but Starbucks once again decided that its goal, it came into life today to be bamboozling. And I'm like, you know, some people choose violence, Starbucks chooses bamboozlement. Every day, all day, 24/7, 365. I got short though, because I noticed we keep trying and failing to break that 75 or 76.08, and I was like, Adara, take the short. So I took the short. Initially I wanted to wait a little bit longer, but we kept bouncing at 75.95. I said, Adara, scalp it out. Be happy, be grateful, say your thank you, as in leave. So I did leave. We would have broken down a little bit further, but that's not really going to be my style. Still slightly down in the day, but I am always bullish optimism and bullish new opportunities. I also did have another successful Tesla trade I didn't get to talk about. Really happy this one was a success. Took it off the 90 MA because I noticed we were failing that a couple times. I said, Adara, scalp it for like 15, 20 pennies. Took 15 pennies. Really happy. This is the type of trading I want to do more of. These scalps on Tesla. I know Sean scalps. I'm not going to be like, Sean levels of scalp for a lot of reasons, but I do want to be more comfortable taking the scalps because those are the trades I'm most comfortable in. If we reject a level, then If we find support off a level, take it quickly, take it briefly, take it with the viciousness, with the swiftness. I always say, oh, the markets are moving with the viciousness, swiftness, what have you. Why can't I move with that as well, I say. So that's what I really want to do. I want my trading to be as feisty, as vicious, as swift as the markets. Also, the TQQs are being bamboozling. I'm long. I wanted us to break kind of above that 59.10 because I noticed we are edging higher. Unfortunately, we haven't gotten to that area. We keep, brushing up against it, batting our eyelashes at across the window at the 59.08, and then saying, actually, no, I'm good. I'm going to keep ducking back behind 59. So TQQs, if you make up your mind, let me know. If you break below 58.90, which was a massive area of support on the day and a massive area of resistance yesterday, I'm going to have to say bye to the TQs. Right now, though, I'm enjoying the fact that I said hi to the TQs. Is your Microsoft being a micro awesome trade?
It's okay. We were nicely in the money. We were about 20 pennies in the money. Now we're about 20 pennies out of the money. So I'm just going to leave it, do what it be. I already put my stop in. I'm not even going to look at it. The one that I really am interested in is META. We're at that break-even level on the day. That's 475.50 or wow, what a move down on Meta right there. Okay, so that just got bought up pretty quickly. But the whole point is I'm looking for a possible rejection off that yesterday closing print, right? 475.43, and now where are we at? 475.27. So you could get short here and then put a high at day break. It's just I don't want to stand in front of this name. It's been strong on the day. It's technically negative 0.04%, but I mean, it is starting to, it's hard to guess these. I'm just going to go in. I'm short Meta. I'll get out high at day break. That's a 475.76 break.
It's a nice short.
Yeah, well, we'll give it a try. So we're going to put 475. I'm going to put 82s because that's the year I'm born and I like it.
I like that as a reason.
88s, right? We'll put it there and we'll see what we get from there. It looks like I did get stopped out of the soft one. Soft one's on the way up for whatever reason. So keeping a look at that. So we take the hit twice there on Softy, but right now, Meta was coming down a little bit. Bang on Meta. Nice. We take that one short. Woo, that was a nice 26 penny winner super quick. So we get cut up on the soft one. Wow, Meta go down. All right, 30 pennies in the money on this one. Let's see if it can come down a little bit more on META. Maybe a $0.50, maybe a 474.50. That's where the 10 period's hanging out. Now we're printing low 80s on the Meta. Let's see if we can get some 70s. I'm getting greedy here, man. Well, we got to make up for that. Wow, Softy, you punk. It came all the way back down. So it stops me and it comes right back down. The soft one is the bamboozler. So we'll keep, I want to see if we can get a little bit more here on Meta, but it looks like it's finding support at the 200 on the 5. It's a little bit below the whole dollar right now. Let's see how much it hangs out below the whole dollar. Does it hang out here, or do we reclaim the whole dollar super quick? Looks like we're going to reclaim it here, printing 98s on the ask, and there's that 475 reclaim. So it looks as if this was maybe just a perfunctory down move on META. Do we get a sustained move here? We'll have to wait and see here. I was looking for something in the 70s, 474, mid-70s, possibly. We're printing 88s now on, 90s, excuse me, on the bid. Let's see what we get. There it is in the mid-70s, printing. Nice. Happy with this trade. On the way down on META. I'm really upset having gotten bamboozled out on the soft one. I literally got top wick. I mean, that is literally top wick. That's super frustrating for me. I had the right idea, just, you get shaken out with stops, and that's the thing. Like, if you're going to use stops, you're going to have to deal with this kind of crap all the time. But that's just the way it is. Let's ask. People are asking about Zeekr. All right, so it looks like we're in the mid-range here a little bit. So we talked about 29 being that key area of resistance, and I don't want to call 26 a support area, but it opened at 26. So we're kind of in the mid-range at 27.5 there, between that 26 bottom and 29 top. We'll see how this one resolves, moving sideways a little bit. What's the volume on this? Did it drop off? Let's find out. It's not even giving me the volume. Like, is that about? Okay, so let's see what the volume is on here. Yeah, so we've done 5 2/3 million shares on ZK so far. We haven't been trading for that long. Been trading for about half an hour. So not a bad look, not a bad amount of shares there. I'd look to get long or short off, these very clear levels. At 26 long on ZK or 29 short if you're able to secure shorts on this. I know I can't on my platform, probably can here on the floor. Did you have a look at what those cost, Neil? No. All right, Neil's going to double check to see what the costs are. Appreciate that, Neil. And we'll convey that to you guys, obviously, just so I have an idea, you know, if there's a large demand, at least within our company, for shorts on ZK.
Yeah, I mean, we'll have to see if people are Zeeking the Zeekr shorts. Yeah, I had to. I probably didn't, but I did. Also, Tesla, I think, is getting a little spicy. I wanted to take a long off 168.27. We got to 168.28, and Tesla was like, haha, Dara, you're not getting involved in this Cybertruck, vroom, 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 to the upside. It would have worked out as a trade, but it just didn't happen. I do think, though, there could be a little baby long forming here, because look at these little tails here. Tesla is raring to go. To me, this looks like we're getting a little bit of a pause there, charging up the EV for a move up off that 168.40. Took a short off 168.40. Earlier, it's not one I would take now, because I do think we're trying to find support off that area. Also, I'm pleased as punch with this AMD trade. This is the type of scalping I need to do more. Took it here when I noticed that we had these lower highs and this little chop and turn around 151.85. At the same time that you had, we had that move down in the Qs, which also did get me out of my Qs long as well. I'm out. I'm done with the Qs for today. I just don't have a good read on them. But AMD, I was like, you know what? Let's AM dance with AM danger. I got the 85 short. Got it out at 65s. I was risking to 93, so risked 8 pennies, made 20. That is something I can live with. I am pleased as punch. This is the type of scalping I need to do more of. And yeah, I'm not trying to yell at people. I'm just yelling at myself. You know what I mean? Like, Adara, please scalp more. Sincerely, me. But yeah, I think now we're trying to reverse back to the upside here in AMD. If there's scalp opportunities, that is the type of thing I want. That is, I don't want all the smoke. I want my scalp smoke. I want to be taking these scalpy trades that I like, off levels I like. Here today, gone tomorrow is the type of trading I need to be making. I'm going to keep referencing that, I know. But this is the type of trading I need to be doing more of. Yeah, still down in the day, but I think just finding trades that I feel really confident in has helped. There you go. Very nice. Thank you.
All right, Neil has secured me shorts. Oh, yeah, give it a second. Well, he's going to. So I'm going to give the cost out just to give an idea of people of how much demand there is. For 100 shares short on this is going to cost me a very expensive $1.89. So, I mean, obviously we're not trying to belittle the costs or anything like that, but just it gives you an idea of at least at real trading what kind of demand we have for ZK. Every broker is going to be different. I know on my brokerage right here, there are no shorts available for sale, for borrow. So look, here comes 26. We talked about 26 as a possible level of support on the new IPO ZK Zeekr, guys, if you're just joining us, a new Chinese EV IPO. It's going to go alongside the likes of Li Auto, XPEV, NEO, whatever, and even BYD, even though BYD trades on the OTCs. This one is trading on the New York with its cousins, XPEV and NEO. I'm looking for a 26 bounce. This one opened at 26. If we get a 26 bounce, fantastic. I know a lot of people are going to be looking at that level in the same way that probably a lot of people are going to be looking at 29 short. So expect initial bamboozlement. Try to have a plan. All right, Neil says I've got them. Thank you for that, Neil. So let's give a try shorting at 29, and there's that purple line. So that means I've now got secured shorts for this monster. Let's see exactly what it does. Does it make it back up to 29? You could also make the case for a resistance level at 27.5. Look at that rounded top. Shout out to the Nos boss and his crew over there at Trade Ideas. He always talks about these rounded tops and bottoms, and there you go. I mean, I know I'm looking at the 1 minute, and therefore, you know, should mean a little bit less, but the fact of the matter is, it looks like there was resistance at that 27.5. That's another level that we could earmark for support and resistance. We just finished going through the lesson and talked about the fact that with IPOs, DLs, and SPACs, that there isn't that much data off which to work. So whenever we can find the data, I think we should chart it so we can be aware of it. So keep eyes on ZK doing decent amount of shares here at Dara, about almost 6 million shares.
I do like that you referred to it as the cousin of Li, NEO, and XPEV, right? Like they're like a little Chinese ADR family, Chinese EP
They
family.
are, yeah.
That's what I said earlier today too. I was like, oh, it's gonna be like Lee's bosom buddy,
Ooh,
Zeekr.
I
And
like
you were like,
that.
oh, how dare you say that in your fake offended way. But I always fall for it because Shrip's a very good actor, and I'm very bad at sarcasm.
All
so,
good.
Yeah, there we go. Anyways, shout out to Zeekr and his Chinese EV family. I actually pulled up Lee today. I was like, maybe there's a trade on Lee. There is not. Lee is at low of day. Lee is leaving the highs of the day in the dust. It is currently at the low of the day. Rejecting off the 90 EMA. I don't have a play on that. I was just curious. I thought I'd give it a look. Also, I realized I was apparently so into AMD, I had it twice on my side chart.
Oh.
There were 2 side charts for AMD, which may be a bit excessive. I don't know. I'm joking. I'm going to replace it with something. But AMD bouncing off the 90 EMA. Should have taken that long at 85s. But woulda, coulda, shoulda. If there's another opportunity, I'll get involved. Just scalping those 90 EMA bounces. Trying to do the same with Mr. Tesla here. Casrow, OW saying, you know, be careful. There could be the red candle after lunch on Tesla. I am cognizant of that. With Tesla, it's always going to be scalp nation. We are not staying in positions long. We are taking scalps off levels we like, and we are like in and out in a lickety split. That's going to be the vibe for Tesla. But thank you very much, Casrow. I appreciate that. It's something I'm going to be aware of. It's pretty slow. To quote Sean, the market isn't doing anything.
It's not.
I tried to do my best Sean there, but
Look at the plethora of entries and exits on this guy's chart. All of those purples are shorts, so he's getting short and then covering with the greens. Yeah, it's been super tight, Katina, man. I mean, I was just about to look over to you and say, what are you trading? I was literally gonna say that right now. He's trading the top level on the NQs to good effect. So shout out to the Katina, man. If you want to know what he's trading, Ram, right there, you covered it. It's okay. Shout out to Real Trading, of course. But go over. I know you didn't. I know it's automatic. Yeah. Go to More Trader TV. That is our second channel, and that has Neil's positions, Sean's positions, as well as the entire market and all the headlines and everything there. You can see Sean's positions on the right, short TQQQ. That is the wrong price. We are trying to fix that. That isn't right at all there. Yeah, I'm sorry, guys. I know. We're trying to do better with that. The prices are off a little bit there. I know that he's been busy with the podcast room, so hopefully he'll get back to that. Yeah. Anyway, so ZK is the one I'm looking at. Let's bring in some of these. Bring in these small cap gappers as well. All right, let's see what we got here in small cap world. CDNA continuing to hold the volume weighted average price. LiDAR claimed it from the downside. That's not good enough. SGBX, we talked about this one, possibly making a comeback off the 50. Now it's actually straddling the 50 from the south side, not the north side. So SGBX possibly changing its tune here. CDIO is broken down below $1, so that buck trade was a wham bam, thank you CDIO, and it's on the way down into 82.50. So we'll keep eyes on that one. Same thing with Oust. So all the small cap gappers kind of giving up the ghost here, breaking down below VWAP, no longer tradable under my system. So we'll have to keep eyes out for newer small cap gappers that could make their way onto my scanner. We'll look to trade those, but the real interest right now is in ZK, as it's the newest member of the New York Stock Exchange there, IPOing today, midday, and now it's bit to the lower side there, kind of trading at that 26 2/3, 26 3/4.
Dump the pump, proclaims Sean in a very dramatic voice. I enjoyed that. Also, hopefully you're able to get the shorts that you Zeke there on Zeekr. I hope that works.
I'm only going to try to short either off 27.5 or 29. They got to be established levels, like we talked about on the thing.
You hope
The Katina Man and the Neil are taking every opportunity to draw the parallels between the ticker that we have today and the Cowboys quarterback of Ezekiel Elliott. I didn't bring up the Cowboys. I didn't say anything about the Cowboys, so I cannot be blamed this time for trying to instigate.
Doing this on the field, he's been doing this off the field, and now he's all bloated.
So everybody knows that Zeke does this because he's like, feed me more balls, right? I'll carry the ball. And now he's a little bit of a bigger dude, a little bit, and maybe he's doing a little bit of this too much off field than on field. So we'll have to see how Zeke does. I don't expect too much. I expect him to be a second back. Like, I don't know exactly who they're going to get as a first back, but I don't expect too much from the Cowboys every year, and that's I guess the best way to be a Cowboys fan.
But they're your team, but you don't expect
you cheer for
anything
them.
from them.
Yeah, I'm not going to be like, you know, pounding the desk like Neil and Sean, oh, my Bills are going to win, my Packers are going to win. No, just be quiet about it, right? Look at the Cowboys are here. Let's see how they do kind of thing.
Yeah.
You got to prove to me that you're going to do good, right?
I just like that you're like, I don't expect much from my team. That's the best way to be a fan of my chosen team.
1995 is when I started cheering for them, okay?
Dedicated.
Yeah, it's been a long time, 30 years cheering for these guys. So it's a tough endeavor.
Out now, I guess.
No, I'm done. Didn't you guys draft a running back? Yeah, I don't know what round, D-Loaf. That is a good question, though. We did not? We did. You became a fan of the team when they won. Yes. So you basically only cared. Oh, like a normal grade 8 person would. Why did you start cheering for the Bills? Oh, why? Because they were the 1991 and 92 Super Bowl losers to the Dallas Cowboys? No. Hey, man, I was in grade 8. You're really going to hold that against me when I was in grade 8 for cheering for the Cowboys? I'd like to hold some stuff against you in grade 8, Neil. I have to find out more information. Anyway, let's back to trading. How's that RBLX trade going?
I'm just dying over the fact of you threatening to blackmail Neil over
I'm not threatening anybody.
He did. No, I'm just saying, like, it's pretty funny. I'm laughing. I think that's the appropriate response. But that was, yeah, shout out there. Sorry, I'm like brain dead. Roblox is not good, to answer your question. Roblox fell below the bottom of that range. So I said, bye-bye, Roblox. Yeah, loss was doing okay. We did take some sad little L's there. Took an L on Roblox and took an L on Soxal. I guess that one lived up to his name there. I need to just get back to I don't know, man. We had some nice trades, then we kind of had some meh trades. But this Soxal I was very bamboozled by. I initially wanted to go long. Then I was like, Adara, we're compressing a little bit. We're up on the day, but we've been down lately. I think this compresses to the downside. It did not compress to the downside. However, I'm very proud of how I exited the stock. We tried to make that new, that new recent high above 41. So I said, no. Got it at 49.40. When did 49 become a part of this? 40.98. Got out. Not pleased as punch, but I'm pleased and I can live with it. You know what I mean? Which I think is important. Tesla, getting back to that area I like, so I think someone might be taking the Cybertruck. No longer the Model 2, because right now I'm trading Tesla, not Tesla. I want to see what we do here. AMD, wow, I should have taken the AMD long. That was the trade, man. While I was taking Soxal short, mistakenly, AMT was like, oh, Adara, you could have hung out with me. We're AM dancing to the upside. And I was like, okay. But yeah, I'll stop having hypothetical conversations with the stocks. That makes sense. I want to try taking Tesla.
Wow.
I want to see what we do with the 90 MA. Meta?
Printing 50 pennies in the money here on Meta.
Congrats.
Super quick. It was a rinse and repeat style trade. Back into 47.50. I'm sorry for the wicks here, guys. I know it distorts the hell out of the chart, but that's really not within my control. 47.50 was that key area of resistance that we got short initially. I rinsed and repeated again, and right back down it goes into 475. I said 44. No, I don't even know what I said. 475.50 was the level that we closed out at yesterday, and we've been obviously having a lot of resistance around there. So as soon as we got back there on Meta, got short, covered at 475. It's finding support, though, at the 10 period. So anytime you see a retracement into the 10 period here on the 5, this could be a long, because it's been bouncing off there. And got to tell you the truth, the deeper retracements seem to be coming into the 10 period. For whatever reason here, the 200 featuring a little bit higher than the 10 period, which is the solid blue line on my chart. And it's been holding up there at times as well. It seems to be around 475. Yeah, so it's more like the whole dollar level that's holding up at around there. Nice move down for Meta, though. In the exact opposite way, that Softy's moving up. So a nice move down for Meta, and then Softy had an established range here with 414 being the near high, and now it's using 414 as support, moved up to 414.50. HOD's 415 1/3. So we still have a possible, a U-shaped retracement all the way back into highs. Keep your eye on that 415 level, because we did get breaks of 415, but look at where these closing prints are. They're all south of 415. Then when these ones are only at the 10s. So I'd say 415 is an interesting level off which possibly to get short if we have market weakness to warrant that move. But we'll keep eyes on that. Apple is super, super tight range. It's been hugging the 10. Now it looks like it's ranging a little bit closer to the 20. I don't have any trades on that. Google's presented you with a couple of trades, with a couple of 50-period retracements. They haven't been forthcoming lately, like this ascent didn't come back into the 50-period at all. In fact, it rejected off the 20. So Google hasn't been giving you that rinse and repeat level that, you know, not Softy, but Meta's giving you off 475.50. What else is going on here? This 895 area on NVIDIA is also interesting. So this keeps bouncing off. I mean, we definitely got it a little bit deeper than 895, but that general bottom is helping. That's a big range. So maybe trade an NVDL, something a little bit more, something you can manage risk a little bit better on. There is this level as well here on Tesla, this 169.25. So this has been interesting as well because initially you were using 169.25 as some support when you came down here. So it stalled out at 169.25 at around 1025 to 1040. And then we broke down really low to that 168 level. And then we come back in off 168 and then reject off 169 several times. From 11:25 till 12 o'clock, we rejected off 169.25. Here comes 169.25 again. We're above 169 right now, looking to inch into that $0.25 level. Keep your eye out on it. I'm not saying we're going to reject, but you know, it could be another, you know, zigzaggy rinse and repeat range trade on Tesla like we're getting on some of these other Mag 7 names. It also could be a double bottom after a prolonged down move because you have this 167.75, 168 area defend. So we'll have to wait and see, but I'm keeping my eye on 169.25 right there.
I think 169.25 has also been my area. I've been trading it more in that 169.15 area, but I do think that's a level. I've been talking at Waxing Poetic about that with Mr. Stressla all darn day. And I mean, when Sharif says rinse and repeat range, we know those are levels I like. Those are the trades I was taking. This is what I want. I do want all the smoke. Right now, Mara, I don't know why I sang that. I don't know why I sang that. Good times. Mara in a range. If we break below that 66 area, I'm out. I want to be taking some profit here. 70.93, so risking about 15 pennies. No, trying to make about 15 pennies, risking about 13. It's a risk-reward ratio I can live with. Also, thank you so much to Michelle Hebert for the $2 Canadian dollar super chat. Stopped out GME at 17.30, went back in at 17.40. Smiley face. Let's take a look at congrats to you for getting back in. That's awesome. I know it can also be hard to get back into a trade when it didn't work out or when you get stopped out. That's an awesome look for you, Michelle Hebert. GME trying to curl back to the upside. The game didn't stop. It was just paused. You just press pause between rounds there. So the game is definitely not over in GameStop. Great look there. Shout out to you, Michelle Hebert, for that trade. That's really awesome look, and that's awesome that you got back in. People want to look at Netflix. Heineken wants to take a look at Netflix. Netflix is not in the New Yorker era. Come on now. And let me see what levels Netflix is streaming right now. Okay, I have thoughts on this chart. Okay, this is so much fun. I love when charts are just like screaming at me. It's a really fun time to analyze. So look at this little resistance area that we had at 609.52. Look where we resist again. That's right, 609.52. Weird level. The other level for me here on Netflix is this double bottom. It's not perfect, but it's pretty double bottom-esque around that 606. Where is this? Yeah, basically 606. I think that's a nice look. So we had these lower highs, lower lows. Then we double bottom. Then we start making lower highs and higher lows and higher highs. And what's interesting too is we do have a higher high at the same place we had that lower high earlier, 609. To me, 609 might be the level on the day for 609. That's my take. Sharif and Neil are still playfully bullying each other over football players. So that's a nice look there.
Neil keeps making fun of Zeke, and like I have nothing to say.
Who is Zeke?
Ezekiel Elliott. I know, Neil. I know. I'm just teasing, man. He's like, look, man. You know you could beat Zeke in a race, and then I just jumped up onto the stage because we're on a stage, right? Like this platform behind us is a little bit lower. He's like, Zeke would have felt flat on his face if he did that. I was like, wow.
Complimenting you and also dissing your football star at the same time. Multi-purpose. I like that.
Exactly.
Like
Smart.
Yeah.
We got a nice move up, Adara, on Amazon. Big move up after a very weak day today for the Amazonian. Look at this. I come back, I see a big green candle breaking through the 10, breaking through the 20. It's still below price action support, though, at that 188 level. That's where the 50 is, and that's where we had a bit of a top initially. So we'll keep an eye out for Amazon as it does find its footing a little bit. It's not even $1 off the bottom, though. 186.93 LOD, low of day, on AMZN at the moment. We'll see exactly how this one pans out. Meta still ranging below 475.50, so I was happy I got that out. I was actually worried, thinking, maybe I got that out too quickly, but I think this was the proper trade for Meta on the day. It was a quick scalp because it has shown its propensity to kind of retrace off weakness. And I showed you guys this on the 15. I want to show it again. Meta has this habit of selling off aggressively on the open or whenever midday and then recovering from that big sell-off. So you'll see that here, 8:15, we're at 468. By 9 o'clock, we're at 463. We end up the day at 475. Same thing with yesterday. We open up, what is that, 9:15, we were at 474.5. We dip all the way into 467 and 2/3, and then we end up closing above the IB high at 475.65. Same thing again today. Sells aggressively on the open and then recovers almost the entire move. That's been a lot of times on Meta, it's been doing that. And I've been noticing that. So, initial weakness on Meta seems to always find some support midday or thereabouts. So we'll continue to watch, see if this one can close above the IB high today, which is 477.50. Good look for Meta. Microsoft, though, the winds of change have come from Microsoft. So you had three kind of lows there. You could call these troughs with two corresponding crests, and then you got the break. And now we're really starting to trend up. So this could be, if you view this differently, this could be a rounded bottom a little bit on this one, looking to curl back up to the top, 415.38 HOD at the moment on Microsoft. Let's have a look at what Zeekr is doing. ZK.
You guys.
Killing me, bro. Love it. It's like, you can't do anything. He's too big to move. No. Actually, the stock, okay. Yeah, Neil's like, it's not doing nothing. It's kind of super rangy, and I have to agree. 27.40 to the high side there on the 1 minute, and you can kind of see to the low side, it's about 26.60. Several touches at that 26.60 level for whatever reason. Again, I don't want to short a range here. It's going to have to be a key area of resistance. I like that 27.50 or that 29 for a short. I like 29 for a long. We'll have to wait and see exactly what is going on there. All right, let's see what everybody's talking about in the chat. I haven't been looking at the chat in a second. Oh, Albert likes our Trenda Turtle. I like that, okay. ADMA, Adama, Alive 9 incoming. What is this? ADMA?
ADMA.
ADMA, what is ADMA?
It was a small cap.
Oh, okay, this looks pretty good.
Admirable moves.
It was, eh? Yeah. All right, let's have a look at ADMA. ADMA, it's kind of moving a little bit here. This is the 1 minute look on it. Yeah, well above the volume weighted average price, but the volume is a little bit suspect on this name. This is the 5 minute look on it. Let's flip to the 10, see if we can see anything of relevance. Nothing on here. How about the 15? Okay, so nice retracement off the 10 on the 15. Okay, so that's an interesting area that you could look to get into. And you had precedent before that as well. Right here at 9:15, then again at 9:30, bouncing off the 10 period. So the first touch it had on the 10 period since the open was 12:30, and then again at 12:45. ADMA, what is this? ADMA Biologics, $2 billion market cap. So not really a small cap gapper, a bit bigger, 216 million share float as well. So a bit on the larger side, but a good look, good move up, 27%. Who could say no to that?
I mean, I could say no to these stocks getting like a penny away from my outs and then being like, like, no, guys, it's not cute. It's not cute when you do that. It's very aggravating. Note to Tesla, note tomorrow. I put you two on notice because, guys, please stop. Yes, I am talking to stocks. So Tesla, I want to get out at 88. Tesla gets to 87 it's like and then drops. I'm like, fine, Tesla, I'll get out at 80s. Tesla's like, oh, so actually now I'm not going to do that. I was like, I mean, Sean wants to know how I get stocks talking to me like that. I just, I watch the book like a crazy person, Sean. It comes from staring at the book like a crazy person. I don't know if it's healthy, but it's what I'm doing over here. Then Mara, the other target of my ire right now, I want to get out 1794s. I also already got out part of the position, mind you, as planned. Then we get 1793s, and Mara's like, bye. I'm like, okay, Mara. Whatever, do your thing, 21.
21.
There we go, we said that at the same time there. But yeah, Tesla Mara, can you do something for me? Can you get the levels I want for me? Do your things, Tesla Mara, do your things, Tesla Mara. Tesla dropping below the 40s, which was that area. Actually, no, we're bouncing off 40s. Okay, I want to see what Tesla did at 40s because that area was huge. I shorted, I went long off of it. But if we break below this area, I'm going to have to get out. I wish, it's always so hard because you never know it's so frustrating when things get within a penny of your area because you had the right idea, you just didn't have that exact number right. And it's hard as well to know, like, it's so hard to predict what the exact price is going to be where a stock rejects, right? So you do your best, you try, you fail. I sound like, a greeting card, but I'm not a greeting card. I'm just a person trying to trade some bamboozling stocks. Always happy to be here. Come on, Tesla. Give me that level. Mara, I'm just going to get out of you now because you're doing a heck of a lot of nothing. This marathon that we had to the upside has decidedly taken a turn, and I don't feel confident in this stock anymore. I still think Tesla could give it to me. If Tesla rejects that 168.66, my point of entry again, that's where I get out flat just because it's not a level I feel as confident in. I loved the area initially. We were in the money, and then Tesla just got 1 penny away. And that should be like someone should write a trading bio, 1 penny away. My life as a day trader. I mean, I'll write it, but yeah. Or Sean. I know Sean's always talking about the book. That'll be the name of Sean's book. But yeah, so I'm just having a great time here. I traded so many stocks today. Holy cow. I am not up on the day, but I am always bullish positivity.
Oh, I like that.
Thank you.
I like how the Katina Man's, yes.
Appreciate
okay.
it.
I'm long in ZK. Call me crazy. We had a breakout through that 2750. It wasn't, on any aggressive basis. I've already put my my out there through that 27 and say that again, Katina Man. Okay, I'll have a look in one sec. I can't take my eyes off. Said IPO, but let's look at what the Katina Man put in the group chat. Oh, this is the Cybertruck, baby. This is a Golf Cybertruck car. I love this. Where is this? This is actually the Tesla manufacturing plant. So I'm sure they did this on purpose because it's sloped like the Cybertruck as well.
Amazing.
I actually really like this, man. In the chat? Well, let me remove the chat, Katina, man, because I don't want them to, Oh, there's another one. Here it is. It's the Cling Daddy guy. Okay. And there's another one right. Oh, hold on. Where the hell is it? There it is. Yeah, it's from the front angle. I like this one. Look at the size of this factory, though, eh?
I love that guy's face. He's focusing so hard on his truck.
Super focused. What'd you say, Ram? It looks like they cut open a freezer and made a car out of it, she says. Yeah, it kind of does look like that. A fridge. Yeah, sorry. My bad, Ram. It's all good. Shout out to Ram. Doing things on the ones and twos. We're still long on ZK. I'm looking for a beak wetter in the mid-60s there. My out is already in place. The reason I went long here is because we had a resistance level at 27.5 and it broke, but we broke below it quite quickly. We are putting in some the higher lows and higher highs here. Nothing really to write home about. We'll see if we get printed on this one. Stop is already in place, but be careful with this one, guys. The bottom could drop off at any minute, so make sure you're practicing proper risk management strategies here.
Yeah, so what's not a proper risk management strategy is fat fingering out of your TQ trade. That's me. That's what I did. It's okay. Couple pennies out of the money. All good. Also, you and Neil talking about that, the Ezekiel guy made me think now, for a second, I was going to be like, oh, how's Ezekiel going and not Zeekr? The company is Zeekr. My brain got all twisted up there. Also, we will get to the lesson du jour, but also I want to talk about this Tesla. I'm so happy I didn't panic sell this. I said, Adair, just wait to see that 40s bounce. You were obsessed with that 40s area. You were salivating over that 40s area, to use a Sharifism. And then don't get out until you see what we do here. Tesla gets to 40s, boop. I hit my hand. I hit that way too hard. Oof. Back to the upside. Mara, I probably panic sold a bit, but I'm still in the money on it. Happy I did with what I did with it. If I wasn't feeling confident in it anymore, I shouldn't have stayed. So pleased as dang punch. So happy with what I'm doing today. I traded way too many names today, as I said, but I have to say I'm really proud that right now my top name of the day is Tesla.
Nice.
And that's something my first day trading Tesla in the live.
Wow.
And again, I want to, I'm not trying to I'm just saying and I think it's because like what you were saying, like try to get back to what you were doing in the sim that worked.
Good.
What I was doing in the sim that worked was trading Tesla like a fiend. So I got back to that, and I think, within reason, of course, always on levels I liked. Same with that AMD, which was I think one of my other best trades of the day. Just taking AMD, taking that scalp short. I need to do more of this, Sadara. I just talked, okay, whatever. I'm going to stop talking to myself and start talking about the lesson of the day.
Yeah.
Okay, where'd my PowerPoint go? Tried to bring it down to the next screen and I accidentally shrunk it. Good times. Oh, and then I also gonna have to close this because I accidentally also have the notes in there. Bloopity boop. Okay. Got my life together, and now we are going to lesson of the day. Now, let's talk about shorting the hype. IPOs, SPACs, and direct listing can have massive overvaluation. Sometimes it can feel too hyped up. You feel like it's going to be like a little bit too hot to handle, like the Netflix show. And you're like, what should I do? How should I trade this? Right? Short selling allows you to potentially profit if the price falls to the downside. And this lesson will give you the tools you need, at least the start of the tools you need, for intraday shorting on hyped up new listings. But it is a bit more of advanced strategies, and there are several inherent risks, one being that you're shorting, and B being that this is a SPAC. Now, why would you short during hype? There's a couple reasons. You can capitalize on the overvaluations. Everybody's like, this is the best thing since sliced bread, Reddit, DJT, all these names giving us all that, good juju, as Drew sometimes says. But however, the hype can sometimes be too much. Because these new listings have these types of highs sometimes, they can be priced above their intrinsic value, and so you can profit if the price corrects and closes lower. You also want to catch the euphoric downturn. So the initial euphoria can create a bubble, and so you can short sell, anticipating a price decline as the hype subsides. Now, how do you identify the hype monster? I love that. I'm not Party Monster like the Seth Green and Macaulay Culkin movie from the early 2000s. The hype monster, which is a very overhyped new listing. There's a couple different things. You can look at valuation metrics. Compare the company's valuation ratios like P&E, which I know a lot of people were doing with DJT, being like this is overhyped based on P&E, right? So look at the P&E compared to industry benchmarks. A significant disconnect can suggest potential overvaluation. Social media buzz is also really worth noting. Excessive hype can be a huge red flag. A lot of these small cap gappers as well, if I don't see a catalyst, what I'll do is I'll look on Twitter. If they're really hyped, I'm like, maybe you want to stay or clear, things could get a little crazy up in here. Also, technical analysis, switch sides accidentally. Technical analysis is really important too. You want to look for topping patterns on the charts, like a double top, head and shoulders, etc., that can indicate a potential trend reversal. Here's an example. This is not necessarily like, not a Mag 7, an IPO, but it's just one example. So it's kind of you're near that high, then you get your down wave that's pretty severe. You come back to that previous support, which again, are not always levels you're going to get on IPOs. Then you get the slightly lower high, and that's when you go short. So that's the example of using technicals to short the hype. Also, shout out to Sharif, who killed a high of days short earlier today with Meta. You could short highs of days as long as you're doing so. That's, again, not an IPO, but as long as you're careful, as long as you have something you're looking for, your confluence. I just want to shout out that awesome trade.
Appreciate you, Dara. Thank you.
Starbucks also yesterday was like a high of day short. So I think these markets lately are like, high of days, they always say not to short. Now we're actually going to give you reasons to short it. We're switching up the rules. But yeah, again, shout out to Sharif for that Meta short.
Appreciate you.
How do you short the hype though? Maybe you want to borrow shares. Your broker will lend you shares to sell short, but you're going to need to locate borrowable stock and understand the associated interest fees, because fees are always worth noting. Entry points. So you might want to look for a technical indicator or support resistance. We talked about this lower high on this example here as well. Look for your peak in technical. So this could be like a bearish reversal on the chart, a negative divergence between price and an indicator like RSI, or a breakdown below key support areas. Now, get your stop loss order ready to go. Since the price can surge in an upward trend, set a stop loss order above a resistance level to limit your potential losses. if the price rallies against you. One of the biggest things that I'm definitely still working on since going live and since trading in general is minimizing your losses so that if you have those gains, you're protecting them. And that's one thing you absolutely want to keep in mind with a stock that can be as volatile as a new listing. Now, yes, your exit strategy. So make sure that you're trying to get your quick profits, be scalpy with it. Consider profit targets based on percentage gains, like 5 to 10%, or technical signals, like if the price reaches oversold territory, that's when you have to get out. If you're looking for these lower highs and then you don't make another lower high, maybe that's where you get out. Have a plan. Important considerations as well to keep in mind. There's always a risk of a short squeeze. If the stock price suddenly unexpectedly surges due to buying pressure, you might face a short squeeze, which can force you to buy back shares at a higher price to close your short position, and that can lead to significant losses. One really good example of this is the movie Dumb Money, which is a dramatization of the GME short squeeze. Taught me a lot about short squeezes. I would highly recommend it. It is fiction, but it's based on a real thing that happened, and I would say they explain it very well. Also, margin requirements are worth noting here too. Short selling will often require a margin, which means you have to put up a portion of the capital up front, and so that is something worth noting and keeping in mind as you plan your trade. There's also unlimited potential loss. Unlike with buying a stock where your loss is going to be limited to the initial investment, the potential loss in the short sale is theoretically endless because the price can keep rising. And that's what had me scared to short when I initially started shorting. But as long as you have your risk management, it's just one more thing to keep in mind. Bonus tips. You might want to start small, begin with a shorter position to manage your risk and gain experience before increasing your size. Hedge your bet as well. Consider using options, strategies to hedge your short position and potentially mitigate some risk. You always want to stay informed too because hype can shift quickly. So stay updated on news, market sentiment to address your exit strategy if needed. Short selling is a complex strategy though, so you want to make sure you understand the risk involved, have a solid trading plan, and prioritize risk management because you don't want to get involved in a situation where you're short and the market suddenly goes up, causing Sharif to say, "Gee, what are you doing?" I just heard you say it and I was like,
I'm out of ZK. It broke down below 27.20. So we knocked on the door of 60 several times, but when it got into 60s, 27.60, the spread was like 30 pennies. So obviously I didn't get filled. The bottom was really dropping off of the spread there. So a liquidity issue, something to be expected on these IPOs. Lost about 30 cents there on that move. Now I'm looking back at Softy here. I want to see, not Softy, sorry, Meta, because we had a bit of a resistance area at 475 earlier before we cleared it. So I want to see if we clear it again here. I could be persuaded to get long. We've been bouncing off the 50 period several times on the 5-minute chart. I'm looking at my side chart here, thinking about exactly how to get long or what to do here on Meta. We've been trading this one all day. Now it's putting in some lower highs here, or it's curling up for another 475 and a half, 475 and 2/3 touch, which is where the top is on the day. So I'll continue to watch that. There isn't a whole lot in these markets today, I want to say, but there are some stuff that's going down. Not really tanking, so you're going to have to, really be aware of the price action on some of these. Google is the one I'm looking at right now. It's inching a lot closer into that 167.15, which is the IB low on Google, which could be a possible area of support. So I'm watching that. Also, Amazon broke above, again, the 20-period moving average. So now it's starting to curl, and that's the first time we've gotten a print, a closing print above the 20-period on the 5-minute chart on Amazon. So could possibly curl up maybe here to that 188 and a third area. So not a bad look there for the Amazonian. The future's doing nothing. It's a little bit above 18.2. So we'll continue to watch that. And yeah, I don't really have any other trades. I mean, the small cap gappers have all kind of given up the ghost a little bit. So we'll see there. Looks like Meta is pumping up now, so let's see if we can get a dip trade near that 475 area. There we go. So we did get filled on that move down. We'll see if we get anything in the mid-20s. So I'll set up at 24s or so to see if we can defend that level on Meta. Adara?
Yeah, I'm involved in the AMD here.
Oh, okay. Want me to take over?
No, I'm okay. I said it like I was like, oh, like I can't talk, but I want to talk about it. Basically, got involved here at that bounce of the 9 EMA I like that 21 area. I was watching it while I was doing the lesson of the day, just had my eye on it. Did we bounce? Yes, we did. Mother, may I? Yes, you may. I want to get out before 40s because that was a resistance area earlier with wicking candles. I want none of that smoke, but I do want the smoke heading into 30s, taking half the profit out at 30s, the other half at 36s. Should we get there? Come on, AMD. Let's AM dance with AM Danger. And our pal AMD reminds me of our old friend AMK. Both names which were christened by Sharif. Oh my gosh, AMC's in a range. AMC's in a range. I need to trade AMC. AMC, you're joining my side chart. Who are you, Mara? I don't know you anymore. Cash me outside, Mara. How about that? So let's put AMC. I don't know
What
why
is
that
happening?
was of all the things.
I love it. I love it.
Don't know why that's where I went.
Ram's very happy with that. That was Neil. That was Neil. My bad. Okay, okay. Neil's happy with it. I like that.
I'm happy with that. Yeah. I'm also trying to short Palantir because it's pretty Palan where we really struggled breaking above that 2075. So I said, you know what? We'll try to get short Palin here. Let's see what happens. We're going to give this into 70s. I don't want to risk too much. I also am cognizant of the fact we're bouncing a little. You know, maybe I don't want to get this trade. I've decided I don't want to take it. I've decided I don't want to take it. Damp it, says Sharif.
I said pamp it.
Oh,
I promise.
Well, I'm happy you said pamp it because I'm involved in and I knew you were along as well. So
we're
I'm thinking,
doing well.
What are you damping, Sharif?
No, I'm pamping.
That's good. That's why I said I was confused.
We're long Meta. Here comes the $0.50 level, guys, on Meta. This is the closing print from yesterday. So this is where I got short last time, right at these levels, right where we're at right here. So let's see if we get back up a little bit higher. I said the 2/3 level would be my level, but the $0.50 level looks good too. So I mean, let's be real. I'd like to print at the 2/3 of a dollar. Let's go ahead and set up our out here. Are we? Yeah, let's go set up. I'm going to put it at 59s. So we'll see if we get anything around 59s. As I say that, it kind of comes back into the 20s. So we're going to have to be careful with this here trade. But this is the level that I want to rinse and repeat at. I mean, we may not make it back into highs. I think that that's fair. If we don't make it back into highs, we have to make it back into highs every time. All right. I loaded up Amazon here on the other trading screen because this double top at 187.55 is interesting. And it's also a previous area of resistance. Like, look at this area, support. So it could be acting as resistance at the moment. Like, look at this area that we consolidated at from essentially from 11 o'clock till around 11:40 or so. This 187.60, 187.55 could be an interesting area here on Amazon for a short. It's been weak all day. I mean, we're at these levels right now, so if you do get short here, you could just give it to 60s. That's about 13 pennies worth of range there. Let's go back to Meta because it's coming back into my entry. It did wet my beak for the majority of the position at the $0.25 level, but I want to see if it can make it back up into the 2/3 of a dollar, 4.75 and 2/3. I'm going to pack my patience on this one. I think I don't want to get squeezed out too quickly. So we'll continue to watch that. I am going to short AMZN at these levels. My out is going to be 187.61.
Yeah, I get involved in that. I hope that Express delivers some profit to you. Post-haste, overnight delivery, no shipping fees, all that good stuff. Tesla, I've been talking all day about that 168. We're out of Tesla. Bang. I've been talking all day about 168.66. I've taken it long every time we've gotten the opportunity to take it. I took it short once earlier as well. Oh, sorry, I took the 168.40 area short. But just so people know these levels on Tesla, and these are not just, I know I have some crazy lines and charts sometimes, but this is a real level on Tesla that I want to talk about. Thanks. Tesla has this 169 area. Sharif was mentioning it as well, 169.40-ish, or 169.25. We get there, we reject. That's a repeated thing. But then, if you're like, what are the areas below there? There are some. One of them is going to be 168.40. The next one's going to be 168.60s. That's why when I take my 168.60s longs, my stop loss is always going to be 168.40 because I know we bounce off there with a viciousness. Then I just kept taking these longs here, risking to that area, just taking out at 80s. Please just punch. If we reject this 169 again, I will take it short, but I'm aware, you know, we can't ride on this little funhouse carousel forever. One day, this pony's going to be like, I'm a big horse now. We changed analogies like 4 times there, but it's all good. That's what we do here on How to Trade. As Sharif said, you know, all made up words are welcome, and I guess all confusing analogies are hopefully welcome as well because I continue to make them. AMD, if we flip from that support at 152.20 to resistance, I want to get in.
Okay.
I don't know why I'm creepily raising my eyebrows.
Oh,
at that stock.
there's
Let's
news
find
for
out.
Tesla.
News on Tesla?
Yeah, there's problems at the Germany plant that came in about 20 minutes ago. Tesla plant in Germany targeted by activists protesting expansion. So that came in at exactly 1 o'clock on my print. Let me just make sure that there didn't come in before that and I missed it. Tesla German Gigafactory, that came in at 11. So that came in at 11:48 initially. So that I don't want to call it old news, but it's older-ish. So that came in 11:48, which may be why we're seeing prolonged weakness in Tesla. But as I look at what happened at 11, there was a bit of a down move right at that 12 p.m. area. Is there anything else here before that? I just want to make sure that this wasn't from before. No, so it came in at 11:48. Tesla German Gigafactory faces climate protest Friday. Why? Okay, why are they not jailed? Musk asks. Okay, so we'll just leave that for him to figure out. That's not going to delve into that. So anyway, we're doing decently on Meta, but I got to tell you, I'm worried about this Amazon short. It's inching in closer to my stop. My stop's at 61. So it looks like Amazon might be along at these here levels if it continues to pump up. I was looking at this level simply because there was a double top there and there was a previous price action support. I looked for it to flip to resistance. It may not be forthcoming. We're short 49s. It's printing 52s right now. So we're a couple of pennies out of the money, but I don't see this one really tanking down here. So we'll see. I'll give this one a little bit more patience, Adair. So we'll see what that one does. The Meta trade is trying to hold 475. I mean, it keeps coming into 475 and then bouncing up, but it's putting in lower highs. So that is obviously a little concerning. I am looking at the one, though. I've taken the majority of the position out of this. I'm looking for a touch here at 60, at 475.60. We're well off that, 50 pennies below that at the moment, printing 14s here on the ask. All right, so Amazon came back, I guess, into my level. Now we're in the money on Amazon, but that means Meta came back a little bit as well. So it looks like these ones are moving, not in tandem, obviously, because they're almost opposite looking charts at the moment. I'm really thinking, do I cancel my Meta trade here and focus on Amazon? We're in the money nicely now on Amazon. I'm going to cancel this trade on Meta, and I'm going to focus on the Amazon trade. I'm sitting here at 41s, so let's see if we get filled on that. We're printing 44s now on the... that was a stupid decision to do, to cancel Meta. Right back up. Mistake. All good there. So, what are you looking at?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I was just laughing so hard at why are they not jailed? Like, the Twitter sphere would be able to answer that question. But yeah, hopefully Elon is all good. Seems like he is, not elong all the drama there, which makes sense. But yeah, I just thought that was pretty funny, and I like the way that you read that out loud as well. AMD took it short. Now it looks like we're back to holding this as support. It was support, then it was resisting, so I wanted to get short there. I'm not getting out until we break above 30s with a viciousness. If we don't break above 30s with a viciousness, I stay short. I'm looking for 152. That's what I would like. Instead of 52 pick up, it's going to be 152 pick down. Get out of the trade. That, again, works better in my head. I know I said I was done with the TQQs, but then I saw something I liked, and I don't think you could have vendettas against stocks if you're seeing something you like on them. We keep rejecting this 90 MA. This is a massive level I was obsessed with earlier, and this is also an intraday level. Support yesterday. A little bit support resistance flippity-floppity here earlier today. 59s, if we break above that amount, I'm going to risk 10 pennies, but I do want exactly all of the smoke. Also, AMD. Let's AM dine and dash. That we were slightly positive in the day. That AMD trade has a slightly negative now, but you know what? I had to take it because I like taking it. So I don't want to, again, I'm trying not to trade P&L. If I like a stock and I like an opportunity, I want to be a joiner and get involved.
I like it. Some of the other small cap gappers that we were covering today, Dara, we'll cover them again because we mentioned them earlier. LiDAR, this one I kind of gave up hope on because, well, it broke down below the volume weighted average price. But this one was not just, good morning. This one was from yesterday at 5 o'clock. So this one didn't start moving in the pre-market. This moved in the aftermarket yesterday, and now it is really moving away from VWAP, reclaiming it quite well. But this happened before. Remember when we got into the 50 period, then reclaimed VWAP into that 210 area. Now we're reclaiming into 215. So it looks like it's putting in those higher lows. So maybe we have to trade it a little bit differently or not trade it at all. A key area of resistance is where we're looking right now. this 210 area. This takes us back to this trough over here, as well as the closing print on this candle. So we'll see if it can break and take it. Initially, we definitely had resistance at 210, but keep in mind, we are putting higher lows, so it could mean the winds of change are coming. And now we're printing on Amazon finally here. I'm really disappointed that I got out of Meta because it did pop up into 61, so I'm going to scold myself for that. I did well on the trade, but not as good as I could have. Now this one, I don't want to paper hand this trade. We're nicely in the money on this one. Let's see if it can come back down. A realistic goal, I would say, on Amazon, 187.25 is realistic. We have some good price action around that $0.25 level. We'll see if it makes it down there. It's already printing in the high 30s. So not a bad move on the Amazon at the moment. Already wet my beak there on some profits. We'll see what this one can continue to move down. There was a decent move down there on Meta. What just happened? So this is what upsets me so much, is that it did cross 61 where I had my beak wetter and then came back down. But
that's hard.
Yeah, remember the penny thing that we were just talking about?
Yeah.
Well, that's kind of the thing there. So we'll see what we get. So nice move right now. And the thing, honestly, too, about Amazon is I'm seeing these topping tail candles come in, right? It's not like a lot, but they, you know, it's showing you resistance at this $0.50 level. But we're putting in, the other side of that coin is we're putting in higher lows. So we'll have to wait and see. I'll just pack my patience with this one. I'll put a profit taker in the high 20s to see if it can make it way down there. If it can, fantastic. Otherwise, we'll get stopped out at the exact same area, that 61. That's where I have my stop. So.
Yeah, I'm getting out of Tesla. It didn't break below 40s, but I don't have confidence in it anymore, and that's why I want to leave. Because that's a huge thing. It's like, if you don't believe in the trade, how is the trade going to believe in itself? I mean, not like it cares about what you're feeling, but my point remains. You're going to be more confident in the trade, and you're going to be more willing to do well in the trade if it's a trade that you have that hankering for, that you really want, that you work towards. Also, I'm happy to hear that you're keeping the bulls at Bezos right now in Amazon.
Aha, I like that. Okay, okay.
Nice look
Google
there.
dropped off. The bottom just dropped off Google really aggressively.
Oh my gosh, it did. I'm not seeing any news on that, but we're gonna have to watch out there. Tesla got part filled. Tesla, just let me out, please. Let me out of the Cybertruck. Come on now, man. This is a little bamboozling. Got out there. Please just punch. Qs I'm flat on right now. We're doing a heck of a lot of nothing. Still positive on Tesla. And again, it wasn't even like we were down on that name. I just lost confidence in it. And for me, that was enough of a reason to leave. So there we go. Qs, let's head to the downside. Let's get that hustle to the downside. I also like this because we are having these lower highs here in this flat bottom of 59, 858.90. So I think if we break below, we do so with a skosh of viciousness. I don't know why I became British there. But yeah, Palantir, I want to take that short, cancel the short, and the short would have worked, but I didn't love it, and I was happy I didn't take it. Palantir, see what I mean? Like, I wasn't 100% sure, because especially where we were resting at that previous area of resistance, I was like, this could actually be support. It wasn't, but you know, if I didn't feel confident in the trade, it wasn't a trade for me to take. Qs, we're gonna keep going. AMD, I don't know what your AM doing right now, but if you want to give me another range, I'm AM down to clown. What are you up to?
Not a whole lot, but Amazon is going to stop me out for the remaining amount here, so we do wet our beak at 40s, but here comes 61, so I'm just going to leave the stop where it is. Now, I mentioned Google. Absolutely, the bottom dropped off there. Google's has been weak on the day, and you know, the initial rejections off the 50 period were quite good. And then the retracements started getting a little bit more shallow. Now it became whether they were retracing off the 10 or the 20, but definitely not the 50. It hasn't touched the 50 since, since around right over here, 1010. But you could make the argument this 1130 was close enough to the 50 for it to be a rejection. So finding some support right now at that 167 level. It's a whole dollar level. It did break below it, got it to 88s, 166.88. It's trying to fight now to get back above the whole dollar level. We'll have to see how Google does. But if it does retrace and starts bouncing back up, I would look for resistance at 167.50. Reason being, we had a lot of price action bottoms at 167.50 before we gave up the ghost. I'm talking about this print over here at 855, as well as the closing print over here at 935, the IB, you can call it a low print, whatever. And then over here at 1140 and 1145, we also had support at 167.50. Then again at 1240 and 1245. So if there's been a lot of price action support at that $0.50 level, I do anticipate that a retracement probably not probably, may top out there, and that would be either an area to take profits or to look for a short. So good move up there for, good move down, excuse me, for Amazon. I did get stopped out of the remaining amount of my Amazon trade as it did break through 60s, now printing 59s, but it did get up into that 64 area, so we'll take an L on it was definitely the minority of the position that was left. Let's see what else is moving. Wow, Tesla's been awfully consolidated. I didn't even have eyes on this one. So Dara's shaking her head means she's been involved. And I have heard her say she's been in and out of this trades. I've been trying to concentrate on my trades today, so I haven't really seen exactly what she's been trading. But 169 definitely is a nice, interesting top there. What has been your range? 169, and then what's been to the low side?
I've been a little bit tighter. We know what I'm like. I'm usually a little bit tighter with my ranges.
Fair.
So I've been taking it 168. High 80s to 168.66 with the stop of if we break below 168.40 in either direction, right? That's kind of been the goal.
Okay.
Initially, I thought the range was breaking down, so I got out of the long. Then when I realized the range was still existing, you know, I use this quote. It's about people, but I think it applies to stocks too. When someone shows you who you are, believe them. If Tesla's going to keep showing me it's a range trade,
so true.
I need to keep trading it like a range. So that's why I got back in the short. If we break above, we're like 10 pennies out of the money right now. If we break above 169s, I'm going to have to say bye, bye, bye.
Bye.
But right now, I hope we're still good. TQs, still short, still no comment. I feel like I'm talking to the press, like no comment on the TQs, but I don't have anything to say on it. Slightly out of the money. We're still below 59s. I'm still in the trade. But yeah, Tesla, every time I think the range has stopped, the Tesla's like, I am still driving in this range, ma'am. Let me have my range. And I'm like, Tesla, if you want to be a range trade, by all means, I will take that. We are getting a bit bamboozling, though. The last time we hit the low side of this range, and Sharif was right, I've been watching this like a hawk all darn morning or day. For the most part, every time we get to the low side of the range now, we have a fake out like we're gonna fall. We get to the high side, we have a fake out like we're gonna just make up your mind, Tesla. That's all I ask. How are you doing?
I wanted to talk. Okay, first of all, people are asking about the Fed and the hotlines that the members have been dropping. So here it is, Goolsby. Housing inflation remains a significant puzzle and challenge. I have been saying that for quite some time. Shelter inflation has persisted, and if you dive into PCE or CPI, you'll be able to see how persistent it is, whether it's rental or mortgage. Number one, obviously, mortgage inflation is due to the higher rates. That's a no-brainer right there. But the rental becomes a little bit more complicated because so many people are priced out of being able to buy homes that they're only forced to rent or live at home. And a lot of people don't want to live at home. So they're forced into the rental market. When more people are forced into the rental market, rents go up. In addition to the fact that the mortgage rates on the homeowners has gone up, so they're passing that off to the tenants. And I don't know what's going on in your city, but in this city, if you have your tenant from like 4 years ago who wants to leave, you gladly accept their notice because you'll be able to rent it out for way more, $400 or $500 more sometimes. I'm hearing sometimes $1,000 more. Certain people are getting pushed out of their places. So significant housing inflation on both sides of the border, and that is obviously due directly to interest rates. And he knows that. He knows he's causing housing inflation by keeping the rates higher, but what is he going to do? He takes it down, then everything else screws up. So, take your pick. Anyway, there's been a whole host of Fed speakers today. Goolsby, I think, is the one that's dropping hotlines right now. Here's another little tidbit from him. Fed Goolsby says, I'm hesitant to focus too much on recent inflation data. We've made a lot of progress. Okay, so a bit of a better twist from our Ghouls man a little bit there. Let's see what else he's been saying. Anything? I'm just looking at my blotter to see if there's any Fed speak here worth reciting. Nothing too much that I can see at the moment. If I do get any other good ones, I will pass that on to you guys. No question about it. But that is the look. So, guys, remember, that wasn't that long ago that the Fed or the market analysts were expecting 4 to 6 rate cuts, despite the fact that the Fed said only 3 in their dot plot. So the market, I feel like, has gotten a little extended ahead of itself. So I think that April correction was absolutely warranted, especially in light of the fact that we got higher prints. So we'll continue to watch that. But before I did that, I want to go on my Prem rant.
Please do.
The Prem rant. All right, here we go, baby. So Citi plays first thing tomorrow morning, bright and early, 7:30 a.m., they're playing away to Fulham. Why do I care about that? Because Arsenal now competing head-to-head with Manchester City. I'm not going to say anything about Liverpool because I love Neil, but they are no longer in the race. They're an amazing team, but they're no longer in the race, or so it seems, at least for now. So it is a two-horse race. So City is basically 1 to 10 odds favorites to win away at Fulham. Fulham is a West London team, okay? So it is a London team. Now, then Arsenal goes away to Manchester United to play United away, which were 1 to 6 odds in favor of winning. We beat them at the beginning of the year. They did score first. Rashford had that amazing goal. The point of the matter is that City plays again on Tuesday. So even though they play Saturday morning, they have to play again on Tuesday because they're one big game behind Arsenal. So they're going away again to Arsenal's most hated rival, Tottenham. They're going to the North London to play against Tottenham. So for one day and one day only, I will be a Tottenham Hotspur fan, full-fledged. I'll be wearing white and navy blue. I'll be singing whatever Tottenham songs they sing over there at Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. But I am going to be a Tottenham fan. I'm absolutely cheering for City to lose. Pep knows that. He's peeved about the fact that he had to play on short rest, but that's the Prem, baby. And you better win, bro, because we've been winning on our side. I'm not saying we're going to win United. I don't want to jinx it, but I'm hoping we do well. And if we do well, Adira, then we've got the up on them. They have the up on us right now. So they're 1 point behind us, but they've got a game in hand. So it means they played one less game than us. So that means they could get 3 more points. Yeah.
Okay, so it's like in Hell's Kitchen when they like have certain people have like whatever marks in dish, but then they haven't judged the other team yet. Okay,
yeah,
that makes sense.
Exactly.
I'm going to use that analogy.
Matthew Booth, City won't screw up. They know how to get it done, but Arsenal winning would be nice for Arteta. You are not wrong, Matthew. City they're tried and true. They're the treble winners from last year. They have the Champions League. They have the FA Cup and obviously the Prem. So you've got to give them their respect. But, you know, hey, a brother can dream, right? So let's look at that. Yes, Adam. I didn't even know you were in the chat, brother. Shout out to Adam DeLuce. What else? I'm not reading that message, Nate. That's really funny, though. Neil, I know how to accept when my teams are doing well. Hey, man. At least I get 1 year when Arsenal is doing well. And like they did well last year, actually, but we kind of faded away in the end there.
Faded into obscurity.
Did you take that 169 again on Tesla?
So I didn't. I got out. I was in the short,
Okay.
and then I got out just because it wasn't working. I did take this Microsoft pop, though. Really proud of myself. Took about 10 pennies, risked about 10 pennies. Please this punch. This guy keeps bouncing around with from this VWAP into like that 414 to 414, 12-ish. Also, too, I hope for your sake that Man City doesn't have too much pep in its step.
Oh, I like we're spending the money for that. No, and he's worried. Let me tell you, he had a press conference yesterday ahead of the game tomorrow morning, and he's a little agitated a little bit.
Frenzy,
you could tell,
frazzled.
yeah, because he didn't want to be that guy to win the treble and then drop off the next year.
That's fair.
Because if they win it this year, that's 4 Premier League wins in a row. Like, I don't want to see that. You know what I mean?
That's a lot.
Yeah. All right, Amazon is rejecting the 50 on the 5 period here, Ram. Nice move into 187.90 on the Amazon, and this one has been quite strong, right? It broke through the 10, it broke through the 20. Now it is finding a little bit of resistance right now at the 50, 187.90 or thereabouts. Not really a key technical area. We did have some support there earlier at around 10:30 and 10:35 before breaking it at 10:50. So, I'm not putting too much stock into this technical area here, but it is the 50. Let's see if we get a retracement off that.
Yeah, so I did, to go back to the Tesla, because now I'm back to trying to getting involved in Tesla again. The reason I got out of my short was because we broke above that 169. I got involved in 169 or 168 mid-80s, so I just wanted to risk a couple pennies. Tesla, though, if you keep having your rejection at 168.90, 168, I'm going to have to keep getting short. Got to say it. Sorry to say it. for whatever reason, though, I've had more success with this Tesla range, taking it long off the 168.60s than I have taking it short off the 169 rejection. So I'm going to keep that in mind as well. For whatever reason, although Tesla has been decidedly to the downside, I think I've had more success and I felt more comfortable playing it when I'm playing it long. That also partially might be because the range is getting tighter. We used to be getting decisively 168 mid-60s every darn time we got down there. Now we're getting 168 70s. That is a change. That is, as Obi would say, distinctly different. I've been watching this range obsessively for a really long period of time. Proud to say I'm currently up in the stock, and so it's like, if I've been watching this range all day and it's doing something different, then my spidey senses start tingling. And I'm like, or maybe my cyber senses start tingling because it's the Cybertruck. But I'm like, I don't know, there's something in this water, and I want to make sure I'm playing it correctly. I think we could be trying to break out here at 169, I gotta say. This is, I'll put it this way, I'm not going short this again unless I really see something, or I take it with massive size, which is something I'm comfortable doing it. You know what? I like it, I'm getting involved. We're gonna do this. We're gonna get long. If we break below my 70s, we'll get out, that's fine. But I want to get this long here because I do think we have something. And, okay, there we go. Tesla's probably going to prove me wrong the second I did this, but you know what? I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that. I don't know if we're going to get our high daybreak. We're going to get at least 88s. That's what we're going for. We're taking out part of the position at 88s. We're saving a piece for the dream, which is not something I do a lot with Tesla or ever, especially since going live. But I think there's an opportunity to do this. Yes! Yesla, Yesla, Yesla. I say that as I'm like flat. I'm not even in the money here. I'm flat. But I sorry that.
I love it. That was energy, girl.
But I am. You know what I mean? What I was basically saying, Sharif, is that the range is getting tighter, and it's not something I'm comfortable shorting anymore because we're not getting our mid 60s. Now we're starting to get 7. As I say that, Tesla goes back to mid 60s. If you keep bouncing your Tesla, I'll stay in the Cybertruck. I would like, say it with me, all the smoke.
I like it. I like it. Amazon is continuing, guys, off that 50 period rejection off the 5. Keep your eye out on that 50 penny level. So I ended up getting short at the $0.50 because I thought it was a good area of previous support and then it would act as resistance. Now, if that is the case, well, then it'll bounce off this area. So keep your eye out here for a possible bounce off the $0.50 level. We'll see if we get it or not. I'm not going to jump in either way. I want to see how this resolves. If it continues to go down, then we can be persuaded to get short because, well, there's about 50 pennies worth of room between the current price action and the low of day. Low of day is 186.93, so more. Almost 60 pennies worth of range there on Amazon. Nice move down off that 50 period rejection. The other one that's just been bleeding all day and has not stopped is Apple. It has been just one reject. This is full hockey stick pattern over here, down and to the right. And it really hasn't flat bottom broke. What it's been doing is been retracing into the 10 or the 20 on the 5 and just curling back down. So multiple, curls and rejection. I don't really know why Apple's selling off. This feels like someone's just offloading their position and right back into the pre-market price action that we had yesterday. So we basically retrace all of yesterday's gains a lot quicker than took us to make them yesterday. And that's funny how it works like that. Yeah, Brendo was telling me something today that was actually quite reasonable with respect to why we move down so much quicker than we move up. And because, panic selling, or not panic selling, but making the decision to sell, sometimes a little bit easier than making the decision to buy. So
that's a really good way of putting it.
Yeah.
Psychology.
It is, right? Amazon's continuing to head down here, so no stop at the $0.50 it looks like for now, at least not on the wick. We'll have to see what the closing print brings, but nice rejection off the 50 period here on AMZN as it curls down. Again, let's check some of these small cap gappers and the IPO that we were involved in earlier. Wow, the IPO has done nothing. So much like the overall market, very stagnant with respect to where we left it off last. Here it is. Wow, the volume really dropped off there on Zeekr. This one has been added now to my official watch list. It's going to be part of Liotto, XPEV, Neo, and the like. We're going to watch this every day, see how it does, find out exactly, is this a real deal like some of these other guys, or is it just going to fade into the obscurity. LiDAR is continuing to print above that $2 area, so that small cap gapper is continuing to be valid on the day. CDNA as well, but really not giving you much action now as the volume's really dropping off, but they're both above VWAP. CDIO's giving up the go, so has ELST. They're both below VWAP. CDIO's really hugging that 50 period on the 5. But it's below $1 now and really looking to head down. Also, the future is on the way down, it looks like, here into 18.2. Big move down through yesterday's closing print on the future. Let's see, it got bought right back up, though. So big moves here on the future. Well, big, relatively speaking, because this day's been awfully rangy and slow, to put it nicely. So dip down to 18.206, right back above into 18.220. So keep eyes on that. Nice bounce back up here for Amazon as well. What is up with that? So that bottoming tail candle getting bought up immediately, looking like a hammer candle on the 5 here on Amazon Adair.
Yeah, I mean, that was really frustrating. I chopped out of both of my longs. They both would have been valid now had we not had that happen. But you know what? You have to stick to your plan. It is a little bit disappointing, a little bit bamboozling. My top 2 names, Tesla and AMD, are both now I'm down on because of that move down here. But Tesla having that bounce at 40s, it made my interest in Tesla bounce back up because that 40s area was huge. We had resistance. We had support. We had other things. We didn't have anything. It was just resistance support. But I like this level. AMD, meanwhile, I was, this might be the 152.20 short that I was talking about earlier. I tried to go in long 152.30. That might have been a skosh ambitious for me. But that one, we've kind of given up the ghost here. We got back to 25s, sold off a little bit. You know what, Adara? We're going to be like Nike and swoosh into the trade. Instead of saying just do it, I was like, we're going to switch it up. We're going to say we're going to swoosh into the trade.
I like it.
Am I long Tesla? Yes, I am. Okay. And we are basically flat. I can live with that. I can live with basically flat Tesla. That's okay. Given that it's Tesla, I'd rather be basically flat than nothing at all. Yeah, good times.
So you just brought something, you just like jogged my memory.
Oh.
So you like, yes, you can. And have you ever heard of the battle between LL Cool J and cannabis?
I've heard of it.
Okay, so there was a serious beef between LL Cool J and cannabis.
Really?
Yeah, and then one of LL Cool J's responses was like, cannot bust. Yes, you can, cannot bust. Like, yeah, so it was pretty cool. And then when he was like, yes, I can, it just kind of reminded me a little bit of that.
I like
so
that.
yeah, another one to check out because I know you like punching outside your weight class there
I
with
love
respect to
old
rap
rap.
and stuff like
But
that.
speaking to it, kind of sounds like that song by Tribe Called Quest. Can I kick it? Yes, you can. Can you kick it?
Something happened with Google, guys.
I'm not
Something's
seeing
going on
news.
with goggles. Let's see
my God.
exactly what's happening here. Just ripped from 168 to
I saw
169.50.
something.
Go.
OpenAI announces live stream at 10 a.m. on May 3rd to demo ChatGPT and GPT-4 updates. I don't know why that's bringing Google up. You think they'd be bringing Google down?
He's saying it's not it. Yeah.
There's no search engine apparently for ChatGPT. Oh, that could be what brought Google up.
Oh,
Thank you,
that's
Brendan.
it. Okay. So Brendo saying no search engine for goggles, for ChatGPT. So that's helped Google obviously recover. It sold off in the pre-market on news that ChatGPT was looking to make some sort of competitor search engine here with against Google, and that sold off aggressively. We know what percentages. We're talking about percentages here, losing market share with Google, since they almost own 100% market share. So anything really is going to come down, not up. So anyway, I'm long on Amazon. We're doing well here, about 20 pennies in the money. Let's see if we can break through 85. That is where the 50 period is. The 50 period's at 86, excuse me, but I'd probably cover or sell a little bit before that. Here we go. Nice move up on the Amazon. Took this one for that 55 defend. If we can get up to 85, it's all flattened, but nice move up here for goggles, and I don't know if that helped with the Amazon move up there. Adara, big move down for Meta, coming down off that 475.66 right into 475 again. So now the market's getting a bit more active after being really dormant here during the midday, guys. We'll see if the other show will have a lot more excitement and price action movement than we did on this here show, Adara.
That was a really bamboozling day for me. I looked at this, this is the most fills by far I've had since going live or maybe ever, but I think that's because I took a lot of scalps. And a lot of them were, successful. I'm not gonna beat myself up because I'm down on the day, because I am, but I'm not down nearly as much as I was yesterday. Yesterday was the day that I was not true to myself. And I was just taking trades to take trades. And today, everything I liked, I really liked. Sure, I lost some of the gains I had in AMD and Tesla, but I didn't take any trades I didn't like on them. And sure, that Palantir short, had I taken that would have been successful, but I didn't feel super confident in it. So that's just one thing I want to say is like, take the trades you feel confident in. If they don't work out, then think about why did they not work out. And if there's a trade you didn't feel confident in, and so you didn't take it and it did work out, think about why didn't I like that trade and what could I have looked at as well that would have maybe gotten me into that trade, gotten my foot in the door, gotten me the job, gotten me my opportunity. Yeah, I went on we lost that a little bit there. But yeah, Tesla now using our 44 previous support at 44 coming to resistance. I've got to get out of here. It was fun while it lasted, Cybertruck. It didn't last very long. I am down on the day now on you, Cybertruck. But you know what? I'm up on life, up on positivity.
I love it.
Up on the next week ahead.
What do you got planned for the weekend? Let's slow things down a little bit.
So I'm going to visit my friend in Ontario. We're going to her cottage.
Ooh.
And yeah.
Okay.
Because her cottage is also in the town where she lives. So we're going to be like probably oscillating.
Hold on. Her cottage is in the town where she lives?
Yeah, okay, so it's really weird. So she got a job because her whole thing was like, oh, I can start early because I have a cottage in the town.
Right.
And then so they gave her the job. Then after she got hired, she found her place to live, her apartment in the town. But she still does have a cottage in the town. So it's kind of funky. It's like a little bit of both. But yeah, I'm excited. Cool. What about you? I know one thing you mentioned with Alfred.
Yes. We're gonna hang out. No, that was last week out. That was last weekend. No, I'm going. No.
Boxing, I thought you said.
Yes, tomorrow. That's not a hangout. That's like we train in the morning, Saturday mornings,
I see.
right?
Okay.
Yeah, so that's gonna go down. But the real big event is gonna be Mama's Day. We're gonna do that on Sunday. Obviously, the whole family is getting together at my parents' place, so that's going to be super exciting. I love when like the entire family gets together. There's a lot of yelling, there's a lot of arguing, and you know some people usually get upset a little bit. You know,
you're like, I love when the family gets together.
I love it. It's family time.
And we fight.
It's family time. That's exactly what it is. But Google is absolutely flying to the high side. I've been watching it while we've been talking. I wanted to take a 168 dip. It was just way too much price action. This felt like the open to me. I don't trade the open, in case you don't know. And so that's why I did not feel confident getting in at 168, but there were a lot of dips into 168. All of them got bought up, and it didn't really break 168 that aggressively. Go and have a look at the 1 minute, see what I'm talking about here. 168.69 HOD. Right now, we're a little bit below the $0.50. The volume has really increased on Google the last little while. The last candle here at 45 after was about 500,000 shares. This candle on the 5 minute chart that we just finished closing like 1 second ago did 2.5 million shares. So the volume is coming in fast and furious on goggles. And I see somebody here is super excited because I saw some hands. What is going on over there?
Yeah, I did something. I basically was looking at Tesla and I said, Tesla, you are bouncing off that 168.25. That was a previous area that I was using to short into off that 168.40. So I said, you know, I was looking at this and I said, Derry, you're going to regret not taking this trade. So just freaking take the trade.
Woo.
So I did. Yeah, pardon that. I was very excited. But yeah, so we got out.
Flying.
We're going to get out 168.39s. Going to take about 14 pennies. I can live with that. I am pleased as punch. But I'd be more pleased as punch if I was able to punch out. Yeah, Tesla, that's a hint to you. Keep climbing to the high side, pal. But yeah, I'm really happy with how this went. Happy, honestly, more happy that I decided to have the impetus to take it. Because I was like, oh, I'm down on the day. Like, insert sad, cheesy music here. But it's like, if you like the trade, don't worry about your P&L. Worry about the thing that you saw that you liked. So that's what I did. I sound like whatever, some
Goggles
poet,
is going, Adara.
Oh my
Goggles
gosh,
is going. Oh, there goes 169. There goes 169.25. Here comes a half. There goes the half. Katina, man, what is happening over here? There goes a $0.75. This is absolutely pumped. We're about to go green on Google, guys. To go green, we got to break that 169.99. HOD at the moment, 169.85. So I assume a lot of people were looking short at that 170 area, which caused this big drop off, big move down off that 85 penny print right into the 30s. We go on goggles now, only down 0.33% on the day. It is moving, Damonica. I see you. And Google is moving big boy here. Keep an eye out on that 170. That is yesterday's closing print. We were about to go green on the day. Alas, the short stepped in and caused a momentary downturn. We'll see if Google can go green on the day. The Katina man is short 169 in the mid 40s, so shout out to him. We're going to hope he prints. Well, we'll see.
We got out already.
He already wet his beak out in the teens there to de-risk, so shout out to the Katina man there. Google was selling off on news that ChatGPT was going to introduce a competitor search engine, likely through Softy. That now has been debunked. As a result, the stock is popping up, and there will be more said about it on the afternoon show.
Yeah, I think it's been a really exciting day, and I'm really happy I got to trade in front of all of you guys. I did get out of Tesla, took about 10 pennies less than I wanted to, but more than no pennies, so I'll take it. Really happy with, honestly, again, mostly just happy I had the impetus to take the trade. But yeah, so super happy to be here, and I think we'll have a really exciting afternoon show as well with that Google news. Who said a Friday can't be interesting? Who said that Fridays? And we're gonna have a Q&A on the market recap show. Again, we did that last week as well, so Sean and I were talking. We're gonna keep this Q&A really interesting, really spicy. We have some ideas. I'm trying to come up with some fun stuff for us to talk about in the market recap. We had a really fun market recap show last Friday, if I do say so myself. We had a lot of really fun conversations, and so I think we're gonna replicate that again on this Friday to wind the week off in style.
There's gonna be wine? What?
Wind up the week.
Katina Man's like, sure, why not?
I mean, I'm down, but yeah. I mean, I still can't get over Sean saying that his wedding that he's going to is going to be a baller wedding. So that's pretty funny. Not a word I've ever heard used to describe a wedding.
I love it.
But yeah, shout out to that. I can't believe we have 1 minute left.
Yeah, absolutely. It's been a great week, man. I got to tell you, it's been tough trading. There's no question about it, but it's been a good week. Spirits are high. You know, I'm happy with where the account is at the moment, so we'll see if that ends up being the case by the end of next week. But I'm happy, a lot to do this weekend. I hope everybody gets some good R&R. You're going to need it. Bring your energy Monday. There's going to be lots going on next week. We continue into earnings. Believe it or not, earnings season is still not done. Not all the big names are done, but there's still going to be some volatile plays for next week, hopefully.
Yeah, I'm really excited. Next week, we have a lot of Chinese ADRs. If that is your cup of tea, if you like retail, we'll have lots of that as well. So there are some opportunities. Mr. Alibaba will certainly be on West Coast next week.
Yes.
Along with JD, Baidu. I'm certainly really excited.
Does PDD
PDD's
report?
not next week.
He's not next week? Okay, because that's the big one there. That's the one I want to keep.
Yeah, that'll be the PDD will be very key indeed. I cannot believe this is the end of a crazy week. This was so much fun. Definitely did not do as well as it could have, but we had a lot of fun there. Bye-bye Google, says Sean, but you'll have to hear all about that in a couple seconds here. We'll see you again next week. Same bat time, same bat channel. Right now, though, Brendan's at the big desk.
See you guys.
Good indication, I think, of the importance of ChatGPT and the importance of being first to market with this AI product, because that was a huge move on huge volume as